Okay, so we're up to session number 137, or Phase 3, Season 2, Episode 23. It is the 22nd day of the 7th month of the year 1011. And I'm sure Kesley may need me to say some of those back again.
No, I only put down the session
What was
number.
the month? Sorry?
7th month.
7th month. Cool.
It's interesting, we're getting to the end of summer.
You are. Because, hey, the story does sometimes go long, sometimes it goes short. And 23 sessions of a season is a fairly good season. But you're not finished yet.
No.
Okay, so
Stuff.
online today we have Jeremy.
Good evening all. I'm playing Ragnar, the Atruaghin tribesman who has become clan chief of chiefs and shaman of the clans, which has caused a few detours in his clan life path, not least of which would be converted into half dragon.
Yes. And I'm sure the entire life path of Rogue that has now become cleric, looking back going, Rogue would have been far more interesting, but now I'm a cleric. Damn it, I have responsibilities.
Yes, well, I say this, taking up clerical role was definitely one of those detours.
Yes.
At the table today we have Paul.
Who is Paul the... I wouldn't say beleaguered, because we've all got problems, but beleaguered with family at the moment. Diplomat, healer, warlock, party pretty boy, holder of an owl, and not actually a party boy.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get there.
Just
Maybe.
a pretty boy.
Hang around Maika enough, you'll be fine.
Yes, well, that is one of the things.
Also at the table today we have Kesley.
Hello, hello. I am playing Kupalani Aokai, a holder of many titles. Let's go through a couple of these. We got Lonnie the Undying, her most famous title perhaps. Lonnie the Captain Lonnie, Nightwalker Bane, Empress of the Sea, Empress of the...
Did we decide on Time Reaper?
Future Time Reaper,
I just like
Queen
the
of the
idea.
Underworld.
Empress of Time sounds good to me.
Yeah, Lonnie the Anti-Cook.
She might have someone, not like her taking that particular title.
Yeah, no, there's
But be
probably someone
careful
who's
about
not a
some
fan of that.
So some
Yeah.
titles can't be taken without taking out the person who currently has them.
So you have to be the right type of immortal.
Don't necessarily want to take other people's titles. I want to earn my own titles.
Yeah. Rather than stealing them.
I don't want to steal them. I want to earn them. There's a difference.
Yes.
So she is human fighter, Makai background, weapons master, definitely here to hit things, and, well, hitting things, trying not to die, because apparently that now has consequences, even though she can't die, but there are still consequences. So that's fun. We love this. This is a fun time.
I'm sure that stealing a title is a worthy title.
It would be valid.
Yeah. So,
Well, I'm sure she'll get a title for each life she consumes.
I'm sure they have their own titles to do.
Yeah, you'll be nicking them by...
Yeah, I'll be taking their title as well.
Yes.
Or they have one or many, like me.
Up next we have is Rhiannon.
Hi, I'm playing Seika, aka Maika at the moment, who is a party girl and would give Luel a run for his money as the resident pretty girl or pretty boy.
Pretty elf.
Who... I had something to say, but I can't... Oh! Who is very much a rogue and happy not to go cleric.
That's okay, I'm sure we can come up with something else. There's always time.
Yes.
And next we have is Ariadna Wale. Fix the fallen dragon.
Let's preempt this with a short scene. Are you my mommy?
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
20%.
I now have the black. There's white and blue, and I'm currently
you-
working in Earth.
Are you trying to become?
I'm not beleaguered by problems at all. I just drink more coffee and eat more cookies.
Don't get fat. Thereby annoying the hell out of people.
Calcrix, the white dragon, mostly with the jazz wings. Although she's kind of silver now.
Yes.
And black, and blue, and maybe a little bit green.
You're being a bit honest.
Maybe a little
Secret
bit of
recipe.
everything else.
It's all her colours. Pretty.
Nice.
Just getting every colour does help.
Yes.
Well, you know, all the colours.
Got to collect them all.
I would like to say that she's just like every good dragon. She's a hoarder, and she wants all the colours,
Of
all the
course.
elements,
Of course.
all the jewels.
Yes.
She
And
wants
all the chocolate.
colours. Yes.
Yes.
Well, she is a
Oh.
more advanced magic dragon than most dragons.
Yes.
I know.
Dinner's already got the green for you.
Yeah. Considering,
Well-
considering most of them don't pick up caster levels.
I think we
Oh,
we
they get castle levels, they just don't advance it.
No, that's the thing. They don't pick them up as class levels. They get them as being a dragon. So,
are we currently somewhere where there's Earth? Oh, that's right. We're in
We're in an elven floating island.
Yep.
Yes.
Made of trees.
Yes.
So I was remembering
Fair.
Friday, where I'm currently in
Alpatia.
Homlet,
Omelette, yes.
surrounded
Oh,
by
right.
Earth druids who totally won't teach me any Earth magic. That totally won't maybe earn me some green. But I have a feeling that in her future, Karakat's going to wake up one morning, look in the mirror, and go, "Is that a green scale? I better get some cover up."
That's going to be an interesting
Yeah.
place to join.
As a player, I'd get very concerned if Calcrix Friday is in Homlet,
Oh yeah.
because I'm thinking, go Red Green sending one team to the Temple of Elemental Evil, one team to a Palace.
Yep.
Where are we going to end up?
Oh yeah, we are. That is our destination, the Temple of Elemental Evil.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to shut it down.
We're
course.
after a lich.
So I'd like to let you guys
Yes.
go know if I go missing for a few hours or a few days, come find me. I potentially will be in Homlet in the Temple of Elemental Evil.
Yes.
Please come and get me.
Especially considering the actual reason for the original writing of that module was a party killer.
Yeah.
It was
no.
a challenge dungeon. It
I
was
do
designed,
back
not
to
want
that
to
too.
die.
it was
This is
designed
her?
not to be completed.
Yeah, that's where the Wednesday night is.
Yeah. Have fun.
This is one that
Yeah.
if Calcrix does go missing
No
for more
smaller.
than a couple days, then Lonnie actually definitely knows to ask Drazzle. Just be like,
Yeah.
should I be concerned that Calcrix is in here, and if he give.
Answer yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but don't ask him the question. He can't answer.
No, he
No,
can.
no, I can send. I can send to you. It's all good.
Just say, Calcrix isn't
You can
clear.
always-
I feel
You can always
there
ask
should be a
Dimitri.
moment where we
He's got
should
the connection with
go
everybody.
get her.
Oh, of course Dimitri does.
Did
I
Dimitri,
can ask him opinions on my emotions.
yeah, Dimitri
Yeah,
became
yeah,
the link between the
that's
three
it,
groups.
Because if you say,
'Cause
should
Drazzle
we
won't
go
tell
and
them
get her?
everything.
He probably
he can't say yes or no.
Yes or no.
Now, if I say, should I be concerned, he could probably nod yes or no to that.
He'll most likely
If you
shrug,
talk about
because for him, concern is in the person, not in the action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Speaking
fine.
of Friday nights,
He
Wednesday
was
nights.
going to tell you how you should feel.
Yes. Maybe.
Oh, well, yeah. The
Yeah.
cards aren't into telling you what to do and how you should feel.
Put me in my Seika. Don't put me in my Hildren character. I need to stay as Seika.
Are you joining Friday too?
Yep.
Nice.
I haven't quite figured out the pronunciation, but she's Morrigan.
Love it.
Okay, so who wants to do the recap for last session?
I think I got ya. I was halfway doing stuff. Anyway, we were over at Loyal's place and we're like, dang, the Blood Elves have really made a mess over here. We need to clean this up. So it was a whole process trying to find the psychic remnants of these blood runes. I mean, we had to cut things out and get things sorted.
And the wood bled.
And it was It was a little bit gross, and she's like, yeah, this would be a problem if we didn't remove this right now. So, took some time, did that. Then, a few days, we get everything sorted and move on out.
Travel.
We travel over to the floating forest of Miandel clan.
Yeah.
And this is where Seika goes into her form of Maika. And we meet with the tree keeper there. It's like, yep, very nice. Well, we're letting the elves do their elf thing and be like, oh, yes, nice to meet you. Oh, that's neat. We go talk with the clan chief, and he's talking into a book this whole time. And he's like telling us everything that's in this book. Like, answering only based off of the book. And he addresses us by our secret titles, giving Lonnie the title Queen of the Underworld. Mm-hmm. And we give him our pitch to move to Yarlon. I can't say it right now. Yalarum, there we go. And he says that they will agree if we fix Wendell and all the undead stuff over there. So we have to go talk to those guys, and those guys, by reputation, aren't super friendly. Because, you know, they got some undead, and there might be potentially a Lich Lord, neither confirmed nor denied. And, yeah, so doing all that stuff. Meanwhile, we're noticing, as he's talking out of this book, he can't answer anything that's not in that book, and he seems a little bit salty about it.
Yeah.
Kind of asked Drowsel about it, and Drowsel says, he said my name. So I may only be able to read from a book. And now he can't say anything outside of it.
The most we've heard from Drowsel, and it was pettiness.
It was a gift from Drowsel. So that's why Drowsel isn't super
Which is
well
not particularly surprising.
And it was very surprising because Drowsel talked that much. So that's when you know that it was serious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know when he's angry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
well, he does ask people not to use his actual name if they're capable of knowing it.
Yep.
This guy read it out,
Mm-hmm.
so it's, now you can't not read it
So
out.
he took his spirit by binding him to the book. Ha ha ha. And so Drowsel ended up giving us hints along the way. Did I write down these hints? No, I didn't. But he did give a prophecy that his friend will be joining us in our effort to fix Wendell. And so we're still in the floating island in Miandel and waiting for the next morning before moving out. So that's where we are.
We have to go back and ask the clan.
We have one question.
One question.
Yes.
We're allowed to ask one question. Do we
Which
remember
is
what
still
question it was?
working out.
Yes. Can you please tell us what the book says you can tell us? Which would have been really good if Drachnima was in the room.
How quick
He
do you want to ask the
wouldn't,
question?
wouldn't let the artifact come into the room. So,
Yeah.
Dracula wanted to be inside he took over to play.
Yeah.
It's not even really an artifact.
Alright, I
It's
feel
very
like
personal to him.
I feel like
What
I
kind
know
of weapons? It was weapons, not artifacts, it was weapons.
Though I did point out to Paul that Drowsel's explanation of what the book does did make Drachnima's question rather useless.
Yeah.
It basically answered the same question.
you remind me, because I believe I wasn't there.
The book only tells him what he's not allowed to say by giving him the outcome of the answers.
Okay, so asking him what he is allowed to
If
say.
you ask what the book says he's allowed to say, the book will not tell you.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he cannot veer off what the
The
book
oth-
says.
The other thing is you want to ask for contents, not what sort of thing it can actually say.
Mm.
You don't want titles, you want
I-
contents.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
can answer this question or. Look, I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but the question is, I want to know if I'm allowed to look at the book.
that might be the question.
There's an implication that we need information that the clan leader can give us, but we have to ask the right questions.
Yep.
So figuring out what the right question is really. And while we were there, we could ask as many questions, but if we left, we could only ask one.
So
What is
I haven't
the- what
entered
is
all
that?
this,
What is
right?
the answer to
But
the
you will
right
be part of
question?
the group that goes in.
Could that work?
If I enter on my own, am I allowed to ask as many questions
You
as
do
I
not
like?
know.
Okay.
Depends how he reads it, unfortunately.
Will the group as players be upset
What is
if
the answer to
I
the best question we can
either enter
possibly
with
ask?
Drachnama or enter on my
42.
own
Thank
to
you
see
very
what
much.
questions I might get away with asking?
What is the correct and useful
We
answer?
shall find out
Sorry.
because we haven't actually had the characters.
What is the
you doing
answer to the
characters
best
yet.
question we
Are you ready to sit down and join?
What is the useful answer?
Yes and
What
no.
is the useful answer?
I was going to make
Sorry.
coffee, but I can do that in like 45 minutes or so, which is the cut-off time. Coffee, hot chocolates, things like
So if I don't know because
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From-
that's what I was going to do at about 8 o'clock, if that's okay with people. In which
Yep.
case the answer is yes. I just need to get my drink.
Okay, get your drink.
Okay, cool.
so Calcrix was at Calcrix isn't with the party yet.
But will be come morning, which is the day of the 22nd. So the overnight, you rest, and in with the morning, you find Calcrick sitting there looking like she is sort of bewildered at how she got there.
Hi, Calcrix.
I'm still making
Hello, welcome back.
Hi, how are you this morning? Lovely to see you, dear.
First of all, Calcrick's acting bewildered. Oh. Where's the coffee?
Here.
And also,
Drink coffee.
Would you like to join us at the table? I can move stuff
No,
around.
I'll sit on the chair because then I can lay it back. I was just going to see if someone can open the can for me.
and no sign of Nadar. Also, we have no idea if Nadar's joining us today, so we'll find out if Nadar actually does join
It's
us.
okay.
Yes. We'll find out.
Most likely working.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Father Pat seems to be asleep.
Father Pat is snoring.
You look, Father Pat's not there. But that does happen occasionally.
Yeah.
Drazzle, what have you done with him?
Drazzle just shrugs.
Yep. Okay. So, good morning, Calcrix. Good to see you.
So,
We give Calcrix the rundown of what we were told by the clan chief, and the fact that we as a party have one question. Now, if Calcrix brings up, well,
There's
what
still some
happens
left in
if
the
she
can, I
goes
just
by
don't wanna
herself?
overfill it.
Yeah.
That's when we don't know.
Thanks.
We don't know if that means that you're representative of the party or if you represent yourself. We're not sure. Because we don't know how that affects the question we may have.
I'm a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I always represent myself. I am a party all on my own.
You are correct about that.
Me and Eve as a team.
Eve just looks at you and then looks at the rest, so you have the feeling of you've just declared them not party.
Calcrix looks at Eve and says, there are, as you know, multiple parties. We have Zal and Cheval and
Eve looks
Yodri.
confused.
Okay. We're talking terminology. I'm going to use different terminology.
Mm-hmm.
We're all the same family, and you don't eat, hurt, and you protect family. But in family, you can have different parties.
That didn't look a bit scared of the statement.
Maika's just sitting there amused.
If needed, Calcrix will swing her tail around and give a pointed poke for Drachnama to be quiet.
So you do see Eve do the whole head twist and look at Dracula.
You might notice that Maika is as far away from Eep as the room will allow her to be.
If
Looking like
needed.
this is the perfect place for her to be.
If not needed, yeah, it's all good. Does Eep understand the difference?
Eve believes you understand, and that's all Eve needs to know.
Okay, so just so that you understand, you need to protect.
Not eat today, eat later is the feeling you get from Eve.
Protect family. At least for now. No, I didn't say that
There's
aloud.
always eat later.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of things that eat puts into the eat later category.
Goddess, love you,
Yes.
Eep.
Like, eventually I'll eat all of you, I hope. Sort of thing.
And love every minute of it.
Yes.
Calcrix is quite happy to go in as a party of her and Eep as a sub-party of the larger party known as family to Eep.
Okay.
If people feel that would be helpful.
Drizzle does offer to go with Calcrix.
Hold on,
you
hold on.
are literal family.
Hold on. What we do know is that Drazzle is... Nope, I can't say that out loud. I can't say it out loud. Somebody else needs to explain why Drazzle...
So if you're giving me the rundown
Say
about
things.
the book and the name,
I've given you the rundown about the book and also the rundown of why the book is so special.
And what Drazzle told us.
I cannot
So-
say the next part.
does anyone else want to fill in?
Yes, because if Lani says it, it comes prophecy and must happen, and Lani must make
Well-
it happen.
A bit of fear and threat is always a useful thing to have behind you when you're trying to get information.
Does anyone feel Calcrixing?
Does that fulfill you?
No.
No, you need to tell Calcrix what's up. I can't say it.
I mean, I'm not like... my character isn't likely to say something straight up. She's...
You can...
Okay,
break
if your
something,
character's
but
not
yeah.
likely to say something straight up, you don't say it straight up. Is anyone else's character likely to say anything?
Would players like
Such
a
as
reminder
Newell,
of
who's
what the
always
problem
helpful.
I was gonna say if...
Please.
yeah.
is?
Yes,
Okay, the
please.
problem is if the Drizzle enters...
Oh,
the library-
yes!
Yes.
If Drazzle enters what?
The library.
If
What happens?
if the next time that the clan leader meets Drazzle...
Yes.
I see.
So he can't enter the library
So-
because this is the only place the clan leader can be.
I presume Lewell pipes up at
Yeah,
the
I will
offer because
be-
Lewell
yes.
is usually a very helpful person.
Yes.
Calcrix looks at Drazzle. So she looks at Drazzle and she like tilts her to the side. She's like,
Yeah.
"Really?
And also, despite not being a wizard, he loves
Are you
libraries.
offering to come because you want to hurt the man inside?"
Drizzle says, if it's his time, it's his time.
Look, you and I have had these talks about grudges.
He gave him 500 years.
Is the chieftain still
I don't
serving
know,
his
that's
purpose
not
though?
huge.
He thinks for a moment and goes, no.
He's a lovely
So-
man.
Hmm.
I am rather
kind
fond
of
of
want to
him.
know what the consequences are, so Calcrix is just going to do clairvoyance.
I think that is fair
That
because...
is fair.
Because she's
Drazzle does know more than Lonnie, but Lonnie wants to say that right now is not the time.
She
But yeah,
highly
that's something that Lonnie
suspects
can't say.
something's going on.
Listen,
Mm-hmm. There's that.
Hey, both the captain of the guard and the clan leader, friends of mine. Love them to stick around.
Hmm.
Plus, I know Drazzle can do
Rebecca asked the question of
Yeah.
who replaced him?
There is that.
There is that question.
Hmm.
The captain is
But they-
still a bit young.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, are we talking two separate characters here?
Yes.
The captain is the son of the clan leader. They're both
Okay.
they're both seasoned elves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not my type of elf, but what my type of elf passes as.
What's
Yeah.
the general lifespan of elves, as far as I know it?
Well, about they can live up to
75.
about 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
1,000 years
500
is considered extremely long lived.
So, how
Get a
old
human
is this
as
one?
you're right.
I'd
This
expect
one would probably
700.
be in the 700 to 900 range. Very hard to tell because once an elf passes 700, most people can't tell how old it is.
No, it's not clairvoyance that lets me
Yes.
figure out.
Aubrey?
There's one that
Would
lets me.
whoever replaced him be more forthright in willing to help and or provide information?
Or less. We don't know.
Depends
We
on
have-
if Drizzle curses them as well.
We
They've got
we
their
would
own
have
character
to
to be able to help with this.
we would have to find out who the successor would be before we can make any decision like that. It may be someone who hates everyone else.
Knowing clans and knowing
Guys, we are not talking about ending this guy's life because we decide he's not good enough at his
No.
job.
with what I
Drazzle
know.
decided this.
With
Yeah.
what I know about the clan structures and etiquette and like the high end of stuff.
It would throw any planning with the clan, including your
Yeah.
getting them to go to Yalarum, in the
Completely
proverbial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
would
who
track
would?
It
I
don't-
want to know who would take over. Is it a?
Well,
It would be
lineage thing?
It would be a leadership challenge at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And-
definitely not advisable.
Yeah,
Because we
especially
don't want the grove keeper there.
Therefore, it
He's
would lead
annoying.
to anarchy
Yes.
or to
Even
corruption.
There is-
Even with a clear successor, it's not straightforward.
The other thing is, it might take
Yeah.
2 years for them to make a decision.
They also don't have an active clan tree, which means no
Yeah.
successor can be appointed.
That's a good point.
True.
So they've got to wait for the clan tree to be rooted and then regain its power.
So a century.
So, Druzzle dear, it would be, if you'd be willing to give him another at least 50 years.
Druzzle
It's
not
not that long.
guaranteed.
Could you try, please?
At least until we get them
Well,
settled in
he
Yawning.
didn't say he would or he wouldn't. He just said would not guarantee.
Oh, I know.
Because again, he can't say it.
Okay.
So,
He can't promise you'll
Couple
survive,
of
but he
questions.
promises you'll try to try.
Cacrix's perspective on someone saying a dragon's real name. What's her perspective on that? Historically and...
It is basically
Culturally, yeah.
used to control them and
That's what I was gonna do the first
subdue
time.
them and
Figure out my
belittle
real
them.
name.
Yeah, a real name.
It's not really used in a form of friendship or any sort of
Nobody
honorific.
else knows
And
it.
do
real,
we know...
real names on
Not even
magical
my friends.
creatures.
Do I know
is
the
really bad.
circumstances under which this guy decided to
Yeah.
use Druzzle's name
His
or learn
Druzzle
it?
never told anyone, but you have a feeling it was done with arrogance and superiority.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
So not in with the intent of enslaving Druzzle, but with the intent of
Quite
he's
possibly
a
with the
s-
intent of enslaving him, because
okay.
you rarely use it for other purposes.
Alright. If that guy's in the room listening to this conversation, for some reason he starts feeling really unsure about his future. There's
Well, hey,
Cacrix-
Druzzle didn't kill him outright. He's just threatened him.
No, that's fine. No,
He
Cacrix-
he actually gave the guy a prophecy. That's probably about his 5th prophecy the party's heard of.
I'm.
Oh, there was
I'm
also
okay.
a Druzzle book there that seemed weirdly connected, but
Yes.
we weren't
A
allowed to
Druzzle
read
book
anything.
in the room.
One of his novels that he wrote.
Okay.
About a floating tree, a floating elven city in the trees
Yes.
I
that had
look
been
at
picked
Druzzle-
up recently.
What was?
I look at Druzzle
Yeah.
and I'm like, for the moment I feel, unless you feel strongly otherwise that you need to come with me, I would like to go in by myself because I do not want this person to die, as I would like information. However, if you feel otherwise, I would respect your feelings on this. You don't have to give me a prophecy of any sort, but
He just looks at you and shrugs,
Just-
and he says, "Eventually he'll go."
take my hand if you really feel this circumstance requires your presence. If it doesn't, take my cookie.
He takes your cookie.
I'll give him a hug.
You know he is quite vexed with that guy, and him Druzzle being vexed is very rare.
As I hug Druzzle, I whisper to him, I understand. I could see why you're vexed. It is not nice to have the arrogant try to pull power over you.
Were it another dragon doing it, that dragon would generally do it to get your attention, not to dominate you.
Can I ask a quick question that just popped into my mind?
Yep.
Seika's true name. She hasn't told it to anyone. The only person who has ever spoken it to her is her tree of life. It is not written down anywhere. Would Druzzle know it?
Quite possibly.
Okay.
I was gonna
They
say
need to use time travel to get it.
I think
You may have actually given it to him in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe.
yeah, Lonnie fully suspects
I mean, it would be
that
very
Drazzle
surprising because I don't know it at the moment.
most every party member's true name.
Yeah.
And potentially the multiple possible futures you may live.
So,
As I said, very surprising because I currently don't know Seika's real name. But
Yes.
if I'm going to go in, does Draknam want to come in this time?
Druzzle does offer to watch Draknam's sword and kill anyone who tries to take it.
That's not a bad
No,
offer.
no, okay.
Except of course, Draknam, he says.
He's more than a weapon. He's not not the lead back news guy.
I
So-
mean, I can hide it and nobody will find it.
I believe Drachnema, if I'm guessing right, this is a matter of principle. It's not about someone else getting to it or hiding it. It's about he's not letting the damn thing go under any circumstances.
Plus, it also is one of the few things that protects him from at Xantiotl.
And Eep offers you a cookie if you want to put your weapon down.
The
It's
cookie
a
won't
joke.
protect him from Xantiotl. It will protect his mind, not him.
Eep knows precisely.
Are you
she's
suggesting
doing.
you're allowing Eep to approach Drachnema again?
No, she's not approaching. She just holds up a cookie.
Yes, you can be turning into goo.
And she
You're on your own
absolutely,
mind
she
the
doesn't
whole
say
time.
anything, but she absolutely knows that you know that she's teasing you.
Okay.
She means it in a nice way, though.
Nice-ish.
She means it in a nice way.
Yeah.
She's not going to kill anyone who's family.
Yeah, for a fate
I-
aspected dragon.
I enjoy Eep at a distance.
Yes,
Um,
all the way. Yeah.
So
In
if
sight, but as far away as possible.
Yes.
if I'm going in to ask questions, does anyone want to write down any questions for Calcrix that they didn't ask last time that they want
Do
her
we
to
want
ask this
to
time?
give our Calcrix the question that we were thinking about?
That's what I'm
and that
thinking,
gives us a
'cause, like,
backup.
Yes.
The risk
Yeah.
that we run is, what if, I don't know, the risk is that it's still only one question. We want
Which is
Calcrix to start
Why
with
Calcrix
that
wants
question.
to ask.
Whatever Calcrix might think of her own position in the world and in the family/the party does not necessarily equate to what
Oh,
the
she's fully
librarian
aware of that.
is treating as one more question for the party.
She's absolutely aware of that. She's going to try and charisma her way into convincing him that she does not count as a singular member of this party because she's technically a member of two different parties.
Mm-hmm.
And she
you appear
served
to
on
be
3.
under the apprehension that the gentleman has a choice in what he can provide you.
Yeah, well, look, as I said,
That's it.
he might say no, but she's going to try. She tries everything.
I think it's fair, but I think it'd be good to start
As soon
with
as you
one
say
question
no,
first.
then he's likely one more question.
Yeah, and that's why she's like, do you guys have specific questions that you see as a priority to ask?
The question we sort of came up on, Paul Lowell suggested, and we adjusted slightly. What is the most useful answer to the best question we could ask?
But again, it was kind of pointed out that question, the book may not be able to answer that question. That's the issue.
This
Because
is
the
Still
book
best.
the book doesn't give you any answers.
Martin,
Yes.
we're talking to a librarian, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the best thing he can
So-
tell us? Maybe.
Perhaps a question along the lines of what knowledge
Best or
can
most
you
useful?
give me that will help me in this situation? Which means he could give me a book out of the library,
I do like that question.
or his book, or he could just give me information in general.
I
Which
feel
is
like
the
we
key
tried
because
the
you're,
what is the best
because
thing
you're
you can tell
asking
us.
about the person, not the book.
And so would that be
Because
an
again, he might not be
acceptable
able to tell us
question to
anything.
people if that's my
Right.
one question?
What's the best thing you could say?
The question that Drachnema suggested when you first came back and stuff though was not actually asking for the answer from the book.
Mm.
It was asking for him to tell us everything the book said that he was able to tell us.
But what he's saying to us isn't what the book tells him to say.
No, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I'm not saying what the book is telling you to say. Okay, what the book says he has told us or could tell us.
I sort of like the best piece
I'd
of
like
knowledge.
to not limit it to what the book says.
I
I'd
like the
like
idea of
to
saying,
broaden
Paul
that
is
to
has a lot more insight and wisdom
more
than I do.
beyond
I
what
would
the
like
book
to
says
vote
he
for
can
this.
say.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I'd be tempted because
good question.
Seika can definitely think in more creative ways than I can.
Give me a roll.
What role?
It would be an insight roll.
Yeah, so that would be my question as well. Is that insight as well?
Insight
or?
as well, yes.
I'm letting the smarty pants characters do this. not
Does this come under... No, this isn't reading emotions or sensing motives, so... who's the most insightful?
And on the bright side, you could run your question past Russell.
Yes, that's another one.
Because
So we'll come
he's
to
the
some
one who
good.
cursed him.
Yeah, he'll. Yeah, he knows the.
Insight
real
is
details
intelligence
about
or wisdom,
how
or does it matter?
messy
I
you
would
are.
go with wisdom on this one because it's
Yeah,
not
okay.
about what you know, because knowing's not going to help you.
Yeah, it's asking.
My
useful-
knowledge of ways to interrogate and my knowledge
Ways
of...
to interrogate people will
Yeah.
not actually get you the answer because
Damn it.
you're not quite sure what the limitations are.
Okay,
and it-
well, either
and
way.
it's insight, not history.
Insight, not
Definitely
history.
insight. Okay.
So,
cool.
Because
That's
this
right.
this curse is not written down anywhere.
Yeah, we've got
Okay, so
expertise
I
guys
rolled a
anyway.
17. I've got a wisdom
in
of
addition
4,
to
proficient.
insight, I'd also like to
Um,
ask Druzzle
Yeah,
if Druzzle can suggest how to
I
get
got a nice number.
the knowledge that we're after.
You add proficiency, proficient in it. It's proficiency plus modifier plus roll, isn't
You
it?
can do that after your roll.
And I got a
I
nice
was just
roll
letting
too.
you know so I
Yes.
didn't forget.
Mhm.
I've rolled and I got a
expertise
29.
Yeah.
Go to 29. That
I
is a
haven't
pretty good
earned
roll.
that on
What
No,
did Llewellyn get?
right.
insight yet.
18 plus 11.
33.
33. What?
25.
25. And did Drachnamar want to make that roll as well?
Well, I did. I rolled myself a natural 20 for a total of 34, but then I thought technically I'm probably at a disadvantage because I'm getting all the stiff in hand, which put down to a roll of 6, which makes it a 24.
I
Still
think
pretty good.
imposing disadvantage on yourself
Sorry,
is for it's better for the GM to
Yeah.
decide if it's at disadvantage.
Well, it's up to the GM to accept which role that you write.
I'm happy for
Well,
your
well,
upgraded
well,
check.
Yeah.
That's why I won both rolls.
Okay, so
So average it.
Yeah.
those of you who got over the 20 do think that every question you asked that referenced the book basically didn't get a useful answer.
Yay, me! Because I didn't want to reference the book.
Because basically every time someone pointed at the book, he got upset or agitated or angry.
Yeah. So
I haven't
asking
even
him
been
what he
in
can
there
tell
yet.
us.
Technically, I should have got
Yeah.
expertise on that. Expertise on that because that's reading emotions.
Yes, but also trying to figure out
Yeah.
what to say. That was just
Yeah.
basically for those people who paid attention. You got that. If you had
Yeah.
rolled under 20, it would have been okay. You sensed him very unhappy every time
Yeah.
he got asked about the book.
Yeah. There's a thing because at the present, the book and him are basically the same thing.
Mm.
So asking him what he can tell us is automatically going to involve the book, so we don't need to mention
Not
it.
necessarily.
So I like Halcrick's question of what is the best
And
piece of
those-
knowledge you can give us.
Those of
Yeah.
you who got over 30 realize the questions are all about what he can tell you or what he knows, not about what is in the library. So asking questions about what else in the library may help them
Which is precisely
Yeah.
what my
Yeah.
question is.
Is-
What knowledge is
is a question you guys hadn't referenced. Most of your questions were about him
yeah.
and what he could tell you.
Yeah.
That's because
Well,
I didn't
It's
think
a
we would be
library.
able to
There's
get.
heaps of information there, and he'll
Well,
know how to find it.
Yeah.
but
I'm
he
the
may not
first
know it
Vialian
exactly.
elf.
Yeah.
I'm the first Vialian elf, and he knows I'm a Vialian
Yeah.
elf. I'm the first Vialian elf to go into the library, to even just step into the room.
Most of them
Yeah.
have been denied entry.
Yeah.
I was staring at the books going, I want this. And I
Yep.
tried reading the titles and they didn't.
She could only read one title.
Okay.
They weren't translating in
How
your
does
head.
this relate to the question, though?
That was the
That's why I was so focused
that
on
was-
him.
Oh, right.
that was
I see.
Seeker's
Yeah.
Yeah.
issue was because
Right,
Seeker
I see.
couldn't
Yeah.
actually read
Alright.
the titles of any of the books.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was there and I'm like, so much knowledge. I can't access it.
It's like if she opens a
But he
book
can.
and it was just all blank and it's like blank, 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 blank. It's an whole
Dispel
book. I've never seen
magic.
a book.
I learned this when I first walked into a library when I was like 6 or 7 years old. The librarian knows where everything is. And if you don't want to
Why did
search
that
for
do
3
that?
hours trying to find the book you want, you just ask them or you go to the index.
Yeah.
So
And
I
so
like the
Drachnamar
idea.
also does pick up on top of that is you could potentially also ask, is there someone else who can tell me?
Yeah. Yes.
Because what the library knows, what he knows, and what other people know are completely different questions.
Yeah.
And if you try to make it too broad, you get a broad response.
And we were
Yeah.
trying to make it broad so we could get the
Yeah.
most information.
Yes.
But you may
to do
get
that-
you may get
to
a
do that
broad
properly,
range
you
of
need more than
answers,
one question.
but you won't
Yeah.
get any
Don't.
specific answers.
So
Yeah.
if I'm
And that's what we were
allowed
trying
more
to
than
do, is
one
come up with the
question,
best
if
answers,
I
the best questions, so we can
win
narrow it
the
down what we were
persuasion
looking
that
at.
I'm
But we've only got one,
Uh,
so we have to go for the
not,
focus.
I'm,
What do we
I'm
want
a
to know about?
multi-party member
Yeah.
holder, and therefore I get party access rather than individual access.
Which part of which book is the best thing to get right now?
I don't know if I'm explaining that well. I could ask
Yeah.
two,
Or even how do we
Questions.
get the best piece
which
of
is there
information?
someone else who can help us, and is there knowledge within this library that you can direct us to?
Okay, and then you also you wanted to ask Russell some questions.
I wanted to ask Drazzle if, because you created this curse, which is not very helpful to us right now, but very understandable in the circumstances under which you created it. Is there a question or a way to ask the questions, which might be what we've already determined just now, that would help us get the information we need, that would get around your curse?
Well, Drazzle does say if he is there, you can ask more than one question.
Which answers the question of, will I be able to persuade them that I'm... I don't know, I've got a pretty high charisma roll.
Yeah,
I could roll a 20.
I think it's a really good idea.
He doesn't
for
say that
Calvix
you
to
won't
go
be
in
able
by
to
herself.
ask more than one question if he's not there. He's just saying if you're there, you can ask more than one question. So it's not giving you all the answer, it's giving as much as he can say without making it the only answer.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like, because elves, what is the elf, do we how do elves respond to dragons?
Elves will treat dragons as they would treat elves.
Okay.
Except I'm a
but
metallic dragon.
They are also something that they look up to at the same time.
Okay, so
So
Calcrix is
think of
likely
it-
to have a
Like a favourable response.
Yeah.
yeah.
Unless, of course, they've had dealings with Drowsel, in which case that might not be as favourable.
Or a red dragon has tried to flame them at some point.
And what Drazzle didn't say when he said you can ask more than one question was that, yeah, you can ask multiple questions as long as the question, at least one of them is, are you ready to die now?
Yeah.
So,
So there is that prophecy that if he goes in, next time he goes in the library.
Next time he
He's-
and the clan leader meet, not next time he goes to the library, next time they meet. So he's not left the library because Drowsel keeps showing up in his town
Yeah.
on a regular basis.
Oh dear.
So
Probably to trolley.
if
Partially.
you were to enter the library, but not go to wherever the librarian is,
He was in the door.
I could ask as many questions as I wanted.
Drowsel will not answer.
I
Yes,
think
there
I have a
is.
feeling that that's wrong.
I think the best
Well, if Drowsel had
Option.
answered, Drowsel would have to make it happen that way.
option is Calcrix goes in
A
without
dragon
us,
can try.
asks what is the best piece of knowledge you could give us, or the best piece
Point
of
us
knowledge
to-
to point us to.
Yeah.
If he then says, right, no more questions, then we take whatever the answer is.
Yeah.
If he then doesn't insist on that, Calcrix
If we're
pushes a
going to
luck.
go further.
Yeah. I'm with that.
I thought we got the implication from the insight that in fact we should be asking him who else has the information we'd be
Well,
looking for.
that too.
Well,
But it's
no.
where do we need to source our most useful
Because-
piece of info?
So
As Calcrix, Ariadne said, it could be we were asking him to tell us. What he could do is go, okay, here's this book, or here's a paragraph, or
the question
Yeah.
could include both.
Yeah.
options.
I was gonna say,
Talk to this person.
ooh,
Oh, Drazzle. Fuck.
but he's already said that.
The question could be,
Source of information.
is there a
Yeah.
book or person who would be the best source of information for what we need to know? Potential question.
what or who
Yeah, what or who would be the best source
Where
of information for
is the
what
best
we need to know?
source of information?
Yeah.
Who, what, where, when, which, how?
What, who, or
Please
where
give us just all the answers. We don't want to think hard.
would...
So, based off my role,
Mhm.
do I feel like I know what question I want to ask as my one
Because
question?
the other problem of course also is that he might know the best source of information. Might be someone like Drazel, who still can't tell us the answer.
We're just gonna hope that it's not
Yeah,
Basil.
best and most useful would be part of the question, I think.
Perhaps.
Best and most useful,
I
yes.
feel like we're writing a wish.
They
Yeah.
We are.
You know, yeah, it definitely feels like
We're
that.
trying for a wish.
At this
for-
point, I think this would be... discussion of the question would be up around over half an hour at this
Because
point.
they had basically found out that this guy was giving out information that led the Master to destroying the world.
Okay, so,
And so the curse has stopped him from being able to give out the information that destroys the world.
What, who,
Okay.
or where would be the best and most useful source of information we need?
if I ask this
To succeed at this
question
quest.
or any questions, Drazel, am I going to accidentally trigger the prophecy that leads the Master to destroying the world?
Only a bit.
Drizzle pauses and thinks,
Because I do not want to be the person who asks the question that leads to the information coming out, that leads to the Master achieving his goals.
Drizzle says it is unclear.
Is this the reason why next time you walk into the meet with the clan leader, he will die?
He is not far off giving out an answer that makes you all day.
I will stop asking you questions. I will go into the library and ask this question and hope that it does not result in doom.
So, what, who, or
Otherwise, I will see you in the past/future. And I'm sorry if I mess this one up.
What, who, or where would be the best and most useful source of the information we need to succeed at this quest?
Drizzle says question too broad.
I can't remember what my original question was, but you said that that was actually a really good question. Can I just go
The
in
original
there on the
question
understanding
was,
that
what is the
I'll-
best piece
You're-
of knowledge you could give us?
What knowledge can this library provide?
That,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was about the library,
Yeah.
not him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And
I
that was a different question to everything you guys had asked.
Yes,
Yeah, it was.
yeah, and I wanted to focus on the library.
Yeah, because I think, and then if Calcris can push her luck, then ask about a person.
If
That
there's a
would be
person.
good.
Alrighty, I feel like that's
Making
going
an
to be the
in-check
best
to go.
best question.
Let's word this well.
See, the problem was that I think we came in with the assumption that we were
Yeah.
never
Sorry,
going to be
we've
able
got-
to access it.
Yeah.
We've gotten to the point where we've discussed this question so much, I'm going to forget the original question.
What knowledge is this
I
like?
don't want to forget that, so if I can proceed to the library, that would
Okay,
be
so as you walk through the town, you do get quite a few interesting looks from the various elves.
I was going to
interesting
say,
good or interesting
are
bad?
you
Well,
in
they
humanoid
haven't-
form or dragon form?
I don't understand the question.
Okay. I wrote your feats.
What does the t-shirt say? If you can be a dragon, always be a dragon.
Okay.
Not Batman, not an elf, a dragon.
Though most likely a medium-sized dragon, so
Why
you're
medium? Why wouldn't I be large?
because you
We
might
were
not
in a
fit in through
room.
the door.
Can I be large as I walk up to the door?
You could.
You could be large in presence.
I'll also
See,
be
that doesn't
wearing
compute for Maika because like
wearing the good
it's
old.
always a
It is
facade.
also a
Yeah.
forest settlement flying above the forest below.
with
And,
magic that we don't understand.
Alright.
Your full size of large may not be supported.
Oh,
Okay, well
Can I-
I'll just go as medium then.
can I just
Not happy about it. But.
before you left, I would have pointed out that as a seasonal elf, knowing how empathetic you are, his form at the moment is sorrow. He will make you feel sad. Just being in the same room as him will fill you with sorrow.
Is there a way to
Right.
counteract that, or does Eep counteract that automatically?
Well, he's never interacted with you and Eve, so who knows what's going to happen to him.
Okay.
You may be Druzzle's proxy.
I don't-
Oh dear.
Emit emotions
Upon
the same
being
way he
given
does.
this advice, Cowcrix will look at it and go, happy faces, lots of cookies. And plenty of tea and coffee. And yeah, so I'll do the whole best looks, shiny scales, most impressive dragon foot forward.
Okay, so everyone watches as you go by. It does have a feeling of a solemn procession going through town.
I'm not solemn though.
You're not solemn, but everyone in town is.
They're solemn, are they?
Yes.
Okay.
Which they weren't the last time the party went through town.
No.
Oh, okay. So this is not necessarily a good sign. Did
Does
I
it
have a
seem-
spell? Because I was going to
We're not
cast a
sure.
spell earlier. That
It
was not
did
even-
get mentioned
Out of
that
sight.
Drazzle's
We're still in the room.
sister might be just as bad as Drazzle himself.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's this?
You are related to Druzzle.
Right. People know that I'm Drizzle's sister, like commonly?
The party does not. Not all the party members do. Luell does. Dracnomir does.
But
I'm fairly
the
sure I
town
would have
won't
picked it
know
up.
that
But the
I'm
town-
related. That's information that I don't give out.
The town is just noticing a dragon going to the library. Is that it?
Can
Yes.
But it might be more. It might be less. Who knows?
I suggest Maika probably would have gone out just to leave the room to watch what was happening, because constant information gatherer, and also watch out for Druzzle's friend. So do I see the town being very different to how it was?
Well, as you see Calcrix moving through, you notice everyone just stops talking as they see Calcrix.
So that's more in relation to Calcrix rather than there is a something over the town.
Well, you do feel it is related to Calcrix moving through town.
Okay. Can I?
Any of
Well,
them...
dragon.
Do any of them look like they might be leaders or anything?
No, most of the librarian is the clan leader.
Okay.
Can I do two things?
Yeah,
Can I do an insight check to sense motives?
you can.
And the other thing I want to look out for is the captain. Okay, let's go for Percy again. So,
There's things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
sorry.
What did you want to do?
Oh, I'll wait, so that not everyone's doing everything at the same time.
Specialization. I get an expertise dice. 15 plus. This is an intelligence, this is wisdom, or I'm watching a crowd.
If you're watching a crowd, I will make it wisdom more than intellect.
Okay, so that's 15 plus 8.
So 23.
23.
Okay, so looking at them, it's more a feeling of surprise and regret.
Okay.
Okay, so what did Calcrix want to do?
First of all, I want to know self-reflection. Would changing into an elf under these circumstances help this situation? Second, I was gonna ask way back
Sorry.
whether or not I was gonna see if I usually have a spell that gives me some capacity either to consult my gods for advice as to my next steps forward, or some way of
I'm trying to remember the spell
determining
list.
best way forward. I think it might actually be contact other
Contact
plane,
the other plane is the
Which is
best one.
kind of her
Divination.
standard
Trying to
What is
remember
the
if you've
what
got
she
possible
does.
best we can ask?
things of potential catastrophe.
Ah,
And the last thing will be if the insight into whether or not changing into an elf will help, she would speak to a bystander, and if that is appropriate, I'll go from there.
Okay, so contact outer plane wouldn't get you a result right now
Okay.
because
It's a long ritual.
You were so close to something powered by Ilsandal that most other gods can't reach you here. You're in his literal domain.
And I can't do detect thoughts anymore because of the master.
Detect thoughts because it's very hard for thoughts to reach your brain from other people.
Because
could do.
so it's a useless spell to me now, really.
It's useful in various circumstances, just not while you've got the ring on.
It's not been useful to me since
Yeah.
since the stuff with the master. I really need to replace it because
And
it's down a
you
spell.
and you think that you're expected is your feeling at this stage. Basically, your appearance has been told to these guys.
In which case, if they don't run away, Calcrix will.
Well, they do the bow and gesture towards the base of the trees.
Calcrix will say, "Might I ask if you're able to tell me? I'm normally greeted with a much happier aspect. Is there a reason dragons or myself would be regarded with such solemnness?"
The answer you get from one of them is sort of halting, basically saying, "We have been told of your coming, and that to guide you to the clan chief in the library."
Thank you. Eep offers cookie. If cookie taken.
He waves the cookie, the person looks at Eep and faints.
Oh. Calcrix takes cookies off Eep, leaving Eep with a cookie to keep Eep happy, and will offer cookies to anyone who wants cookies. Death to Exantiotl. No, we don't say that out loud. We just think it. I'll proceed with appropriate. All jokes aside, I can't think of words right now, but I'll proceed to the library.
And you do notice that
Decorum. That's it.
the path that Calcrix takes her past all the settlements, all the buildings of the settlement.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, the entire settlement's on the balcony overlooking the library.
I lean through the door and go, guys, you might want to see this.
Yeah. I really wish I
Yeah.
could contact my goddess, or my brother. The one that can tell me stuff, not the one that can't tell me stuff. And I really need to get a more direct contact to the one who can tell me stuff, so I don't have to risk talking to bloody Mr. Fire burn the whole world down, instead of my brother.
Okay.
And I'm hoping there's another sister in there rather than 4 brothers, because,
It sucks to be the only sister.
it sucks to be the only girl in the nest.
Okay, so as you get down to the square in front of the library, you see that a large table has been set up there with 5 places.
I tell Drazzle to stay in the room.
Do I get a sense that this might... look, I'm just going to go through, but yeah, it's not do I get a sense. I get a sense that this is not necessarily a good thing. Alright, I will head to said table.
Okay, you find that there is a place set for you, a place set for Eep, and 2 places set for elves.
Okay.
You can tell simply by the space and the decor. Goblets and plates for
What's the 5th
dragons
one?
are generally designed to be a lot hardier than those designed for elves.
What's the 5th one?
Larger.
The 5th one is currently empty.
Okay.
Interesting.
So there's a place for
Probably
Eep,
you.
a place for me, and then 2 elves.
2 elves, yes.
Okay.
We'll see.
No other seatings.
And you see an old bearded elf come out of the library.
Oh yeah, that was something that we
That's
know
the clan
about
leader.
him.
His beard is longer enough to go down to his waist.
Very impressive beard.
Elven Gandalf, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
see the captain at this point?
You see the captain is helping him to the chair,
Okay.
and he's taking one of the seats.
The captain's the other elf.
I'm tempted to say you'll be happy to know I've
Well, the
asked Russell
captain's
to
his son,
stay
so yeah.
Yeah.
at home.
Just, he wasn't
But
there. I
I'm
was
not
going
gonna
to
say
sidle
that.
up to him and
He does look at you and says, well, he is surprised. There was a chance he would be meeting a sibling of yours today as well.
For the moment, any siblings I have are currently preoccupied or have been asked to preoccupy themselves.
Yes, he does know of your siblings.
This is interesting, considering the history that I've been given so far, I presume, about yourself.
Yes, he does say that your sister is causing much concern at this stage.
No, well, at least I know I've got a sister now. Can I ask, am I limited to the questions that I'm asking? Do I know if I'm limited, or
You don't know.
I get the sense? Okay.
I don't remember.
I'm gonna avoid asking questions at the moment and say,
Though, if we put it in context, he said when they return to the library, he'll only ask. They could only ask one question.
oh, okay, so we're
You're
not at the library.
You're not
Right.
technically in the library,
All right. Okay. Well, in that case,
which
I'll say.
which is an interesting conundrum there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we might still be able to get a
I
question.
take it that
Ask all sorts of questions.
have we sat down
Library,
yet, or
yeah,
are
well.
we just okay? So we'll, I will offer to make him tea or coffee while we talk.
He will accept a tea,
I will find a traditional elven tea.
and he offers you the gift of answers that he can give.
Well, while I make the tea, I will say, I am curious to discover that you're aware of my sister. By what do you mean that you're concerned?
As the book says that you will be meeting her soon.
That's interesting. I haven't met all of my brothers yet, so this I'm not sure if this is something I should look forward to.
It does say she opposes your current goals.
Well, we'll have a very interesting discussion, but siblings often have opposing goals, so I'm not surprised by this. Drazzle and I may exchange many hugs, but we also have many discussions about how one should or should not behave.
He just shudders at the sound of Drazzle's name.
My apologies. I will try to avoid mentioning my brother by name.
Poor bugger.
Well, at least that brother.
You do notice he does have a book that he refers to before he answers.
Yeah.
I would like to ask a question. Is there information that we can converse about that is beyond your book?
He sighs, and as the book says that he must answer via what the book allows, lest he die.
It's completely understandable. I know the circumstances under which you are.
And it says he can give one answer the book does not allow.
Ooh.
I have a question that, after much debate and discussion, we thought might be the wisest piece of information, of knowledge you might be able to point us towards. And I cannot remember the wording of it, but I'll ask that question.
What knowledge in the library would assist us in this quest?
What knowledge can this library provide?
Or
Is it in the library, or is it what knowledge will best assist us?
The first one that you suggested was what knowledge will best assist us. The second one was what knowledge in this
the
library.
Yeah,
and we were pointing out how asking about the library,
Which
is
we hadn't done
possible.
before.
But we now have
Yeah.
not him.
But we
the
now know
libraries.
that we have multiple questions.
But there's only
Yeah.
one question the book does not allow him to answer that he can answer.
There's
Yeah.
But he's willing to answer.
Yeah.
So
As his last answer.
Yes.
my my concern is that if I ask you a question that the book does not allow you, if you answer a question that is beyond what the book allows you, that we might both bring about an outcome that we do not want. I do not want to ask for information that might lead to such an outcome. But I would like to try and gain information that will help us in our quest to stop the Master. What are we asking about, by the way?
We're looking for information to help us in our quest to Wendar to take out this lich.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, alright, there you go.
Or in-
Alleged lich.
That
Yes,
was
alleged
player
lich.
talk, not cow pricks. Because, geez, I can just imagine her sitting at the table going, "Guys! What are we talking about again? I have ADHD, I've forgotten." It's only the rest of the world.
Yeah. A little
I
bit.
can't remember.
But yeah, so she's kind of offering to politely not ask him that question.
Mention who?
Okay.
If he feels
Okay.
comfortable with that.
Okay.
I can't remember the context.
But you wanted to ask what the library or what information
Yes.
can be provided.
Hopefully that is not exactly the question
Okay.
that we're not allowed to ask.
Hopefully.
Is that at cross purposes?
He thinks and says there is much knowledge in the library that can help you against the Master.
And also this Wendarian Lich, I guess.
Where do we start though?
And there is little in the library about the Wendarian Lich. Answer to that, you need to ask the ruler of Wendar,
Right.
Okay.
our Lord Gilly Harum.
Gilly Harum?
Oh,
Yeah.
we knew that one.
Gylharen.
Okay.
So
LH.
that then would be our attempted first point of call.
Can I ask why this village seems to be almost sorrowful at my presence here?
They expect a answer given here will mean that this will be my last day.
I'm hoping to avoid that as much as possible. For despite the trespasses my brother feels that you have brought to him, I do not feel that that should result in a death sentence of any sort.
He does respond, he has seen what his information could have caused. And that has given him a life of regret.
I feel that that should be enough, and that you have been through enough.
He does pause at that point and says, if the curse was lifted, the result would be bad.
I don't believe necessarily in lifting the curse, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I feel at the moment you're serving the what's the word? Not punishment. It's a word.
It's not reformation. It's
Reparation.
reparation.
Yeah.
That's the one.
You're carrying out, the reparation in balance with your actions.
he does pause, think about it, and goes, the curse was not for the transgression. The curse was for what I would do if I was not cursed.
That makes a lot of sense.
And without the curse, many would have died.
I feel...
And by being cursed and limited in what I can tell people, the world has a chance.
Right.
I feel like we all make sacrifices, and yours is one of recognizable magnitude.
And if he was to pass before the season passes, he says, then the information within the library would be forever denied the master.
Do I get a sense that he's saying that I should invite Drazzle down to the table?
You have a feeling it might not matter.
Okay.
Whether Drazzle's here or not, he may not see the next day.
Yeah.
And if he and Drazzle do not meet, then a paradox is created.
I feel like you're saying that he needs to see Drazzle at some point today.
Yeah. And if they go to Larum, then that'll deny the library. To
I
the master.
feel...
But if he doesn't leave the rest
Yeah.
of the thing, then the master will definitely not get access to the library.
I feel knowing my brother, he will appear at the right time. He's spent his lifetime making sure he does so. So if you were due to see him this day, now in half an hour from now, he will appear. And he knows that I will respect his appearance whether or not I agree with it. But under the circumstances and the knowledge that I have now, I would not object to his presence.
Well, he does say that it has given him a life of restraint instead of freedom of information, at seeing what the information can do and how the knowledge is more powerful in the wrong hands than in the right.
I have learnt this hard lesson myself. Although I am a person who pursues knowledge and books, I have come to possess books and knowledge that have caused more harm and pain than I ever intended. And making reparations for such things has been quite a high enough cost that I have definitely learnt that lesson. I cannot give you anything in this life, considering that today seems to be the last day of your life, but I'll hand over a cup of tea as delicately as a medium-sized dragon can hand over a cup of tea, and I'll say, I have become, I've developed an expertise in teas and coffees, and I hope this concoction I've put together, speaking with you right now, brings you some level of peace.
He accepts it, and he does say that the sister you seek goes by the name Lady of Vengeance.
Sounds like fun.
Carcrix kind of looks up and goes, it's never easy, is it?
Nope.
Because he cannot give her name.
No. I would not ask it of you. One does not bandy about names. This is something I have been taught not through your experience with Drazzle, but through my experience with another dragon who has not done me wrong. She's in fact blessed me quite a bit, but it has taught me the value of a true name.
So,
This is a player joke. I'm guessing he's learned not to speak any of their siblings' names.
Yep.
Probably no.
Considering he didn't
Calcrix's-
even use Calcrix's name or give any titles of Calcrix.
Well,
Yeah.
technically, Calcrix.
Which is interesting because he greeted each of us with secret/unknown.
Yeah, no, he
Titles.
called me
Yeah.
Seika.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
was in Ma'ika, and he called me Seika.
Calcrix actually has a real name, but she's never told anyone
Yeah.
what her real name is.
Yeah.
I believe Calcrix was blessed with Calcrix by people who found her.
Yeah.
I
believe so.
This is just reinforcing
Like way back.
Seika's need to keep her name secret, and she will probably reveal it to one person in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Well, that's pretty normal.
I
For
will
someone who
also
even knows it. It's common not to know.
along with the tea, offered to tell the librarian a tale, one that might lift his mood, because I'm sure he spent a lifetime giving information, but perhaps maybe he would like a story that's a little bit more amusing.
He does ask you to proceed
So,
as he sits back and relaxes.
Calcrix will tell him about when she first met her druid friend Thala. She was quite a young dragon, and they sat at the tree, and she had never encountered these tiny little beastie things with these fragile little wings, but they were awful hard to catch. And they often led to a small baby dragon falling down and all over things as she tried to do it. She then eventually discovered that it was indeed her friend Thala and her druid friends turning themselves into butterflies and making themselves very hard to catch to amuse the little baby dragon and tie her out so that she would actually go to sleep. So hopefully that amuses him.
It does amuse him.
Lightens his heart. If you can imagine Calcrix as a baby dragon.
Not hard to imagine. She
Having
still
to
is.
chase all these little druids, all these druids as butterflies.
Mhm.
So,
That's a thought.
I think that's all the questions.
Okay.
And you guys don't, I've asked really all the knowledge.
Does
we can
anyone
find
have
is
any question they
in
think
the
that
library.
Calcrix should ask?
Look, basically, I think he's said that there is no information he can give us to help in the Wendar situation.
Oh,
other than
we
the
were going to
name.
ask if there was a person who might be able to help us.
He
He's
did
told
give
us.
that.
And he gave us the
Oh,
The
that's
name
right.
of the head of
Wendar
Wendar.
guy.
That's
The
basically
ruler.
our
That's
info
right.
right
He
now.
did. Apologies.
Yeah.
And
See, I told you. I
oh,
forget.
good.
Mm.
And at the end of your story, you notice that Drezel's sitting in the empty chair.
Yep.
Uh,
Is Drezel laughing?
Mm.
He's sad.
Yeah, Calcrix is sad too. That's why she's
Mm.
trying to tell them a light-hearted tale.
So she asks the clan chief one question.
Mm-hmm.
Has he lived a life worth living?
Calcrix is she's allowed to listen to this answer.
He does say yes and closes his mouth.
Mm-hmm. Ah.
Oh.
I will offer him a hug if he'll take a hug
Awesome.
from a dragon.
So he answers the question without looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that.
The first time he's been able to do that.
And hopefully he enjoyed the tea.
Mm.
He did enjoy the tea.
Tea's hard to come by. Do you want me to make you coffee?
I would love a coffee.
Does anyone want a hot drink?
I'll take a hot chocolate thing.
You take a hot chocolate
Please?
with a piece of cake possibly from
I
Brianna?
would love a piece of cake.
Yes.
Alrighty. I think it's time for
how
hot chocolate
sad.
coffees.
Mm.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, with everything, even if he is annoyed, he always does things with purpose.
Yep, absolutely.
Hello, Theory and Sloppy Cat.
He was sleeping and I'm about to get up and he
Oh,
knows I'm going to get up
no.
because I
So
always
the,
give him pats.
Mm.
You do have a feeling of sorrow going through the community.
Yeah.
I absolutely understand that.
Because they're all there watching this.
And I am sorry to be the person who brings sorrow because
Well, they knew Druzzle
her
would
presence
come.
coincides with his last day.
But he does say that having lived over 900 years,
Well,
it is his time.
Yeah.
Listen to you and your little purry sounds.
At least even his last day is useful.
He has done a great service to the community.
Yeah.
And that he feels he's made a better choice than he would have.
If not, constrained.
Oh, you look the cat.
Yeah, he's snuggling. That's actually
He's
some
like,
pretty,
you're not allowed to put me into town.
Of course not. That's a pretty serious snuggle he's got going there.
Well, he knows you're feeling a bit sad.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yes.
Put
that
him a
too.
boy.
Yeah.
Oh, let's stick you in the warm spot.
Yes. Hazelnut does that. He'll lean in and snuggle.
Oh.
Yeah, my dogs.
See, he
Get
doesn't
very close
actually
to me.
lean in and snuggle very often. That's kind of like a rare thing for him to do that.
That was really cute.
Yeah. No, he was basically going, yes, either you're sad or I don't want you to get up. One or the other. Possibly both at once.
I definitely need the coffee.
And then at that point, you do hear the roar of a flying ship coming.
Okay.
Not like the gnomish one.
A
This one
friend.
actually is a very deep bass that you feel.
Is it one we recognise?
It is not one you recognise.
Right.
Having not actually been on one of their flying vessels,
Right.
as it comes from above, not below or to the side.
Speaking of flying vessels, one day Llewellyn's going to realise that the broom has just disappeared.
So
It is there to be borrowed.
it's a metal flying ship.
It is a metal flying ship, and unlike the gnomish devices, there is no flames coming out of it.
So, do we mean as a metal flying ship, as in like Redrian's metal flying ship?
No, not
Cats.
Not
I was going to
Redrian's
say we've seen
ship.
Is it the
we've seen
cats?
It's one of the
Rakasta.
cats ones.
Yeah.
It's
a
the
cat
Reca-
one.
It was the Rakasta, wasn't it?
But
Yeah.
not one designed to look like buildings.
No. Yeah, it's Rakasta. Those sci-fi cats.
Would I recognise anything in the design? Have I got any
Its
inclination?
design is completely alien to you.
Very funny joke there.
Yes.
Also, something very unusual for me.
Martin,
I'm still
Yeah.
bad at that joke.
if I've accidentally
Yeah.
stuck the wrong milk in here,
I will
give you a
cope.
lactase, are you okay?
I will be okay.
Okay, cool.
As it comes and lands on the outskirts of the settlement.
Okay.
So landing is a misnomer, as it's not actually sitting on anything.
It's approaching for landing ability.
It has the look of being stationary, but it's moving with the island.
Nice work.
So from
Good
the from the perspective of things, it's landed on nothing,
Yeah, good piloting.
and you do see
So-
it does fold out a pathway onto the island.
Does it look like we are being shepherded off?
Not at this stage.
Okay.
Most of the elves are still so caught
Most
up
of
they
the
haven't
elves are
noticed.
what, sorry?
I was in the middle of saying it.
Yeah.
I just heard
Yeah.
you say most of the elves are still something.
Still
Yes.
caught up.
Most of the
Oh,
elves are
right.
still caught up in what's happening.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
Can I be
Sorry.
like stealthing in the way that Ma'ika does, which is just moving with purpose so no one
Yeah.
notices,
Yeah.
down close to the table?
Does everyone else move down to the table?
Once we'll all be in one place, yes.
Does Drachnamir move down to the table?
Dracula, disappointed about the idea of going into a metal pit, but apparently it'll be the place we have to go.
Yes.
I think Lonnie would be probably commiserating with Dracnia, poking fun a little bit. Lonnie doesn't care what kind of ship it is. Lonnie likes ships, but kind of pokes fun at Dracnia's
idea that he's not a super big fan of these flying ones.
Oh, the flying ships can open up my forever. It's metal, the bomb.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the metal part. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, it's the metal. Drachnima is not a heavy metal type of person.
He's
Yes.
not a metal
Plus,
person.
plus, of course, you've still got the thing that for us, a metal ship just sounds wrong
Because
because metal.
because of my background and where I grew up and the exposure to, I'm less adverse to technology than other elves are.
No, you'd still have the philosophy that the tech is bad because all elves still fall under the umbrella of Ilsendal, no matter
Yeah,
how.
I'm just trying to figure out
they
how
get-
I would respond to basically a flying saucer.
It is basically a freaky thing because you're now flying on something. One of the top elven god tells you must destroy.
I mean, at the moment I'm happy. I'm in a tree seed that's flying. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, you could look at it as a big shiny crystal magic thing.
Yeah, I think in her head she's trying to
Yeah.
like. Part of her is like, "Ooh, exciting, new information," and part of her is like,
Yes, new information from over here.
And on the bright
At the
side of
moment
things,
she's not that focused on it. It's a that's interesting, and she's focused on the table.
most people cannot predict where technology will be. Magic will not tell you that.
No,
Thanks to the gods.
yeah, because it won't work on
They don't
directly
want
on
to say
technology.
anything.
Technology could, if it's capable of doing that.
If it was, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Divinatory AI.
you have a feeling that the elves here are intentionally ignoring the arrival.
I was gonna say, like in this party, in my other party, it's only Dimitri and me who are non-elves. In this party, other than Luell, who is probably as skeptical of technology as we're supposed to be.
He has a slight problem that he is skeptical of them because of his upbringing, but he naturally can use them.
Yeah, I'm like
Yes, and here's the other bit. My god, the one I worship, is Ilsendal, but my patron is a god of technology. So, yeah.
this is like a moment where I'm like Drachma doesn't like metal.
Lonnie's like,
I feel like my reaction is probably suppressed, but worse.
Lonnie probably be like, sick, cool, the ship's here.
So Dracula can't wait for the plastic age.
Hildred would be very excited by this.
Lonnie will find some just wood that's somewhere along the pathway and just give it to Dracula, and she's like, this is to help you feel better. Just to poke fun at him.
And hey, this is also there's the Dracula's perspective. That's the fact of it. He's our leading guides while the dragons are building and incorporating metal into the technology in their war machines.
Yeah, because that's what's happening with
Dracula himself, he doesn't like it. He put up with it now, but he doesn't like it himself.
Yeah, because culturally.
So that's why it's happening. He's willing to go on board the ship, but then to
Yeah, but
Lonnie was just giving him a coping piece of stick.
At this point, my Ika is probably not forward, but standing near the clan leader and the captain of the guards.
And of course, like a player, I'm thinking, okay, so we've got Friday night Temple of Elemental Evil, Wednesday night Repel Attack, and now Monday night's going into Castle Scribe.
yeah,
Castle Strahd? Is it Strahd's castle?
No.
I was going to say, oh, wait a minute. Are we going to Windar?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Calcrix has just made a realization, and so everyone else can try and bleep this out, but she has an expression. It's not oh shit. It's not oh no. It's oh holy fuck.
yes.
We're going to
Oh,
Windar.
that is true. We did kind of say to Calcrix, oh, look, we gotta answer these questions because of this and this and this. We didn't explicitly
Say where you're
Say-
going.
Player talk. Calcrix has something on her that she really doesn't want to go into Wendar with,
Right.
but she can't put anywhere else because it's not safe. So,
This is something for Calcrix to figure
and
out.
she is the only person who remembers anything about this item.
Each of these latches.
And she's had to work hard to do that.
Dimitri will look after it for you.
Oh, yeah, no. Dimitri's already looked after one already. He's put it in a nice safe place. Calcrix wants to eventually get hers there too. Both of hers.
Dimitri wants to hold on to it.
Sorry, there was extra. No, Dimitri already put this thing at the top of the mountain where no one else can get it.
Right.
As far as he believes.
It's one of the things that Dimitri has done right.
I have a useful feat. I don't think it would. Don't know how well it would work with. I have a feat where if I put something somewhere, if I hide something, almost nobody can find it. I don't know how well it'll work with what Calcrix is talking about. With what Ariadne will talk about.
I do have secret chest, and I'm hoping that's going to be enough.
You know what won't work.
What, secret chest?
Yeah, because you can't put it in that.
Oh, okay. So I just carried around with me both of them. I might need to have a discussion with Drazzle about items that may not be good to take to Wendar. So while we're waiting for the ship to come, Calcrix is going to look at Drazzle and go, oh, we're going to Wendar?
Drazzle shrugs.
Calcrix is, she'll stand for a second, she's like, you know about all my stuff, right?
He nods.
Am I safe taking all my stuff to Wendar, or should I, leave some of it on Mount Dread?
He pats you on the shoulder.
Oh dear.
Is it a reassuring pat, or a, it was nice knowing you pat?
Well, you hope it's reassuring.
Do I need to roll insight on this?
You can.
No. Why do I always leave my cane in the other corner of the kitchen?
Because you like to make things difficult.
Yes.
Oh, it's because there's benches in the kitchen and I cheat because canes are an annoying pain in the butt. They use your hands when you don't want to. So, insight. What a brand new pretty sheet that tells me.
It's usually
Wisdom.
Okay.
Cool. So it's plus 11. You don't need to pick that up. Okay.
It'll fall off again pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay. 19 plus 11 is what? 30?
30.
Oh.
Okay, so...
Hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
You believe Drazzle is giving you reassurance.
Okay. All right.
Though I'm not exactly sure what the reassurance is because, hey, they might be giving away too much.
From
You've learned not to read too much into it.
one magic user to another, is there a way I can hide certain stuffs that can't be hidden in, say, like a secret chest? Like a way I can, is there?
Yeah.
Or do you know someone I should be talking to? And have we gone to this library first before we get on the ship? to
No,
ask?
we haven't been to the library.
We're not- Okay, cool. So we've just seen the ship arrive. We're not quite getting on
Yeah.
it. So I have
No.
time to figure this out.
Yes.
Yeah. So my intention is to. Yeah. Does he answer?
It's when Calcrix realises that, from Dragon's perspective, he might be reassuring you that heaven's a lovely place.
Right.
If that is the case,
Oh dear.
Drazzle should know well that Calcrix is going to find a way to come back, make his life difficult
Yeah.
in the way only a sibling can.
Oh dear.
I know how to hide stuff. The magic thing throws me.
Yeah. So does
Yeah.
he?
I don't even know this
Is
is
he
going on
able
at
to-
the moment, but
He doesn't give you a response now because if he was to say or speak anything, everyone else would then know.
Okay.
You understand that whatever you're asking is in the earshot of people who shouldn't know.
Okay, so as soon as we can get out of earshot of those people, it would be good to have that discussion. I'm going to go finish making stuffs because
Yes.
I still
what's
need
useful about my skills is they're not magic.
Mm-hmm.
So things like
things not being able to go into secret chest. Alright, the magical
Why?
hiding
You in the
spots.
kitchen?
Yeah.
I can hide,
He's
Are
helping.
you gonna make the hot
but there is a
chocolates?
limit to how much
Yes.
non-magical
Don't make
means can
your
hide.
feet so
Yes.
cold.
I do have a good hiding spot, but
It's a 9th level feat. Like, I'm
Yeah.
good at this.
yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, I do have a container which is designed for concealing things.
It literally
A
says... the feat literally
Right.
is about, like, hiding bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. But the problem with it is this particular hiding spot it sometimes has refused taking things. Like a book about Antiotle.
Is
It
this
doesn't
your
want it.
is this your bag of holding
The
that isn't a
rogue-
bag of holding?
The rogue's bag, yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that is.
It is capable of hiding things from Immortals.
I have a lot of really good
So-
hiding places
Yeah.
around, but I haven't actually ever been here before,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah, but you can
Okay.
find somebody else's hiding
So
spot.
you
and use
see
it.
coming over the walkway,
Yep.
humanoid great cats.
Uh,
So lion-esque, tiger-esque, panther-esque.
okay.
So which one?
All of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a mix of various
Right.
great cats amongst the humanoids coming across.
Yes. So
Sorry.
resist saying.
I say
don't
there's
say.
multiple of them.
Yes.
Your voice is really low, Martin. Are you able to raise it just a little?
Okay, so you see a group of humanoid great cats coming across the walkway into the elven community.
Is this similar to the cat that we saw on the Isle of Dread? Is
Very similar, except not dressed as primitives.
Oh.
Yeah, they're
So
actually
is it
wearing
similar to
their
the
own
ones we've met on the gnome ship?
Mm.
More advanced looking than those.
I am suitably distracted from my sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All this information is filing away in Seika's head, but she's still focused on...
You have heard that the great cat humanoids known as Rakasta
Yeah.
have access to magic that defies the elves
Mm-hmm.
in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Their magic cannot counter it,
Mm.
and many think it's technology, but they can't prove it.
Mm. Yes.
And as it's part of their racial gear, as far as they understand,
Mm.
it's very hard to for the elves to deny them.
Yeah. Yes. It just happens to be technology so high tech it counts as magic.
So, when I look at the ship, I don't think tech. I look at the ship and I think, weird magic.
Mm.
You'd probably be brought up with the weird magic, but it would be tech if it was in anyone else's hands.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but it's weird magic in my head, which
Yeah.
gives me a chance to actually relax about it a bit.
Yeah. That's a point. Does it look like metal or does it look like ceramic?
Hard
Or
to
something
tell.
like that?
Denial
It
is a good
glints in the
place.
light.
Yeah. So it's shiny, but it's not silver.
Shiny in the light.
Yeah.
Much so that it is very hard to see more than the shape.
Which may be a deliberate choice.
And as
I
they
see.
seem to, their vehicles are very hard to detect,
Yeah. Hmm.
because you cannot use magic to detect them,
No.
and very hard to use visual perception to detect them.
If it was your sister, she would be taking notes, by the sounds of it.
Absolutely.
Yes. Of course, if you had magic that enhanced your vision, that's not magic on it, so it would still be useful. But then so's a spyglass.
Yeah. So, even standing like less than 100 feet away from you, it is difficult to make out the edges.
I'm impressed. Oh.
Again, radar, taking in all this information, focus.
Yes.
Okay. So they walk up to Drazzle and talk at him in a language Llewell's powers do not translate.
I've met that before.
But
It's
you
annoying, but
do
strange.
pick up your name, Drazzle's name, and the name Wender.
Yes. Actually, for listening to things, I would actually have to have done the ritual first. So, yeah. But it's a language I know I won't be able to understand.
Though you're getting to know some of those words, so over time you do translate.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm learning it.
You are learning it.
Yes.
I like to imagine that they're speaking common, whatever, but they're just speaking so high tech that like it just doesn't make
That's
sense.
basically what I got last time when I found out about that, when I actually did comprehend languages. It was,
It's just
yeah,
like
the concepts don't translate.
it
It's not
just said-
working.
common echo, whatever.
Yeah.
Some crazy ass super high tech speak that I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like no,
It's-
that's probably why it also doesn't translate. Is because it is high tech speak in their
Yeah.
language, and
Yes.
so there's no words to
Yeah.
Right.
translate to.
Exactly.
Any
It's all jargon.
interactions that I
Yeah.
have with these people,
Mm.
and I will still call them people, they're
They
humanoids.
are people.
There be-
This is why I don't think Seika would consider herself poly, because to her, as long as they're humanoid, it's whatever.
Mm.
This is why she's bi. Not. I was thinking about this the other day. Anyway,
I feel like you're saying you'll hit anything that's on 2 feet.
humanoid
Yeah.
and not goblin or anything
What
like that.
about the drow spiders?
You have standards?
Well, then it'll be
I know.
humanoid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm proud.
Then a title morph
Over
into the
time,
picture.
It's unlike your average
just
bard
as
who
it's
goes
something to be aware of,
digging
when I encounter something like this, I have a specialization in deciphering.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't know the language, I don't have
Yeah.
anything to refer it to. I am looking for patterns,
Mm.
and I am looking for things. So, like, I'm not saying I want to learn the language. I am just the mode that she is in. Even when she doesn't know a language, she's looking
Yeah.
for patterns and repetitions to gain some sort of insight or understanding of what's going on
Well,
around
you,
her.
you do get a very quick insight because just by the interactions, for most people they flinch as they're accustomed to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Because, hey, imagine a lion growling its answers at people.
Aw, I was going
Yeah.
with like house cat going.
And
Tell that to the lion guy. Yeah.
and the way Drusilla responds in their language,
Mm-hmm.
they seem to be more deferential, even though it does sound harsh.
Like lion and tiger just.
Yeah, I think we've talked about, like, yeah, she's always constantly aware and taking in information, even if she's not necessarily focusing on it.
That's why cheetahs can't be your caster. Because
Just
cheetahs
don't
can't
forget-
roar; they can only
They
chirp.
purr and chirp.
Yes, because they're not.
Anyway,
big
that's a
cats.
joke.
Yeah,
Yes.
They're the largest of the
yeah,
small
but
cats.
yes.
Anyway,
And
We're in Canberra. We love cheetahs.
Yes.
you do recognize something from the library when you were in there last time that Drusilla gives the leader.
Mm.
Is that the book?
It wasn't a book, it was an artifact that was just on the edge of your side.
Oh.
So, did you
You'll
just say he
recognise it.
gave the...
It still sort of blurs in your side.
Okay, he's given him a thing that is blurry, that is an item.
Right. But we can't tell what it is.
No.
Did Drazzle take the book off the
Yeah.
librarian?
He did not.
Okay. I was just speculating what it might be.
Yeah.
It seemed to have some sort of technological feel to it.
Okay.
It'll be something like what we've retrieved for Redrin and...
So, like, my eyes just skip
Probably.
over it no matter how many times I look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of them.
you focus and you just get a headache.
No. Fun.
But I'm not focusing because I'm focused on the clan leader and the captain of the guard.
Then you do get from the clan leader a bit of a sigh as he just
doing
he knows what's happening.
Yeah, if there's something I can do to take some
I'm
of
going
that,
to add stuff all
But very hard to say no to someone who's already taken it,
just let me know if you need it.
Yeah.
especially if it wasn't theirs to begin with.
Correct.
So, Drowsel's attention is completely on the Rakasta. Where's the attention of all the other elves?
They are watching the clan leader.
Okay.
And does it seem to be that they're doing that just in reverence because he's dying, or does it seem to be they're willfully choosing not to acknowledge the Rakasta?
Bit of both.
Okay.
Okay.
One, because if they were to acknowledge the Rakasta, they would be required to go to war.
Yes,
There is
true.
there
Because
is
of the
no give or take on that in their religion.
Gotcha.
It is fight or breach the conditions of their religion.
Correct. Yep. Okay. Makes sense.
And Drowsel pretty much force it on them.
Right.
When they have to actively destroy technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that they had some in their library
Yeah.
meant that they knew this was coming.
Correct.
Are you inferring that they had these artifacts in their library all along?
You have
It's
no
the
idea how
library.
long it was there
Yeah.
for, but it was recovered by Drowsel today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we actually going to go to the library and ask, seek any knowledge?
Once we're done here.
I mean, if the library has knowledge on the master, then we don't really need it right now. And I don't think, well, it depends on who takes over, but I feel like we'll be welcomed back because we're
Yeah.
the key to the alarm.
Yep.
You know, we've got contacts. You know, like the keeper of the grove didn't particularly like us, but wasn't. He was
Yeah.
deferential to us. Like, I don't think it's a once we leave we will never come back.
No.
And I think our key focus at the moment is get to Wendar,
Yeah.
get the information,
Mm.
get this done so we can then get them to Yalarum so that Yalarum will then help us with the master.
Yeah.
And that feels like it's on a time crunch because we have
Yeah.
just over a season to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Barely.
And you do hear the clan chief speak up.
Mm-hmm.
And he does say as his final act, he appoints his son as his successor.
Yeah, I could see that coming.
Smart.
Which is
And
fine.
that, does that avoid all the other?
It does not.
No.
It just means that there is an appointed successor
Yeah.
instead of a unappointed one.
Yes. Whether he's interim or not is up to later decision.
And he does add that once the tree accepts his position, the library will then reopen.
The library will what?
Then reopen.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So the library's currently closed?
He says
It will be closed.
Very
Because
soon.
he-
Yeah.
the library closed as soon as he left it.
So it's
right,
closed
so
now.
we can't go in there anyway.
No.
Okay.
Is that once the tree accepts his son or the
Yes.
tree accepts a clan leader?
Well, he says his son.
Yeah.
Has-
Simply because he has no belief of it happening any other way.
Yeah.
have I met the son?
He's at the table with you?
He had tea with you at the
Yeah.
So
table.
he was at the table with me?
But he was not speaking because he was being very deferential to the others.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
As the
fair.
least important person at the table.
Yeah.
Before
But he was one of the first.
Powerquicks would like to have a conversation with him. Not, I don't have to role play it.
Mm.
I just want to bookmark it as. I'd like to have a conversation with him before we leave. That's all.
Mm.
I'm happy for us to like role playing wise. Get on the ship.
There is a reason I'm standing behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
He is a friend.
you do
And he's
see
about to lose his dad.
the title of the book is basically for the keeper of the library.
Is that the book in his hands?
That's the book that the clan chief was using.
Yeah.
And it says.
Basically meaning that whoever controls the knowledge can't give it out if it's going to cause mayhem and destruction.
Yeah.
So whoever takes it up is going to have to live under the same restrictions.
Because a world where the knowledge got out was bad.
Yeah.
And to be the clan leader, they have to be.
You have a feeling they have to take up the book or the library won't accept them.
Yeah. And for the library to open, the book must be...
Must be in the hands of the
Yeah.
clan leader.
That's right.
Someone is captured by the tree who also
Yeah.
accepts the book.
Yeah.
As the library itself is intelligent.
Yes.
So I get the feeling not many people are going to jump at the chance.
Yeah. It would take a certain mindset. And
And his son's
everybody.
probably been
He-
raised for that,
Yeah.
which is sort of
Or
sad
helplessness.
considering.
Well, hey, being the clan chief is supposed to be a selfless role, not one
Yeah.
where you enrich yourself at the expense of others.
Yeah.
Those that do so generally don't live in elven communities anymore because the elves require that level of sacrifice
Yeah.
from their leaders.
It's a position of service.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is where they had to leave the commoners behind, really did a number on a majority of the elves.
Yeah. It is.
He thought that like that, was happy to explore the possibility of finding out who would be the next, because
Yeah.
it's all of our life duties to lay down our life for the greater good.
Yes. Whereas as adventurers, our job is to go and make the bad guys lay their lives down.
So the clan chief does wish you all a safe journey, and he will sit here and greet those of his clan before he goes. Basically saying he would like to spend the last of his time saying goodbye to people.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So
Yep.
we want to give him his space.
Yeah.
I'll, given time, sit to one side and do a sketch of
Yep.
the librarian and his son.
And I will give him a appropriate and proper farewell, and carefully done, knowing that it's something he's not actually reading out of his book this time.
And for once,
So-
he doesn't give you a response.
No. Well, that's the thing. This doesn't really need it.
I'll just
And he also doesn't interrupt you either.
I'll just give a
No.
very courteous, quick bow, which in human terms is normal. For elf terms, it's more like that. See you later. But I'll try to make it as respectful as I can.
What's Drachnama doing?
Dreading getting under the ship.
I walk up behind them,
Mm.
remembering that they're both friends, and I touch both their shoulders, and I lean down and I kiss both of their cheeks. I don't say anything, and I just stand there and sort of try and radiate. I'm in my autumn form, so I'm not in sorrow. I'm in, but it feels appropriate right this second, and she'll probably wake up as Seika tomorrow. But like trying to radiate comfort and empathy and understanding without saying anything, just physical contact and comfort.
They nod in your direction.
Coffee and cookies and things for everyone, as usual, as McCaffrey's
Yep.
thing. But quietly and off to the side.
So you, Drazzle does indicate it's time for you to leave.
Yep.
As the Grey Cats start heading back to their vessel.
Follow them.
Yep.
Make sure we have our things and
Yes.
skedaddle.
I'll wait to be the last and then leave.
And Drazzle does whisper something to the clan chief before leaving.
I forgive you.
Guess I'm more prophecy.
I told you.
Neener.
And you do see him smile as Druzzle walks off.
Aw. That's nice. That is good.
Okay, so as you get onto the ship, you see the elves from the settlement all lining up to say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And walking on, you don't feel as if the ship is actually metal.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
It feels like it's made out of some sort of earth.
Some sort of what?
Earth.
So from most of you, it feels very ceramic-y.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah. Ceramic or glass or probably combination.
And so Dracnimus starts to feel better as he gets on because he was dreading getting
He's
onto
feeling
it.
a lot more comfortable about the situation, but he's also, Dracula will be keen to try and talk to the caster on the idea that, well, hey, they probably have a long lost pride of Atruaghin by the look of them.
Yeah.
Technically, they do fall under Atruaghin's care, but they have long since passed Atruaghin's needs.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that as clan chief of chiefs, he doesn't necessarily feel a fatherly care for them.
You've got a responsibility from your point of view, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They do greet Dracnima in his native Atruaghin tongue.
Cute. Nice.
With the accent of the Elk tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, so his
Yeah.
his
His tribe.
native tongue.
Yeah.
And but basically they seem to be, the person you're speaking to seems to speak it fluently. You realize he is the captain of the ship chosen specifically for this mission.
Mm-hmm.
And that he has spent time amongst your people over the last 200 odd years.
Captain.
Or at the very least, the ones down in the Isle of Good.
No, he's actually spent it amongst the Elk clan.
Mm-hmm.
Long before you were born.
Yeah.
As all of the animalistic people are welcome amongst the Atruaghin.
Yeah.
Okay, certainly Dracula will be taking the advantage and aiming to find out more about the Recasta and a long lost clan.
And as you do so, you find he asks about your mother and how she's going based on the clan symbols you still wear. And you have a feeling he was a friend of hers in her youth.
Dracula possibly left will dig too deep, otherwise you might find Granddad.
Possibly not that far.
But okay, certainly Dracula will be intrigued and pleased to meet these people, and while obviously they know a lot about his clan and history, he will be keen to try and find out as much as he's willing to tell about their clan and history.
Okay, you do find out.
And pick up language as much as possible, but hey, he's pretty good at picking up languages.
And the others who were there also hear, those who can understand Atruaghin, that he comes from a very feudal-like society, and that they live on one of the moons.
Yeah.
The moon you can't see. Partly because that's where they have all the technology.
Do I know that there's another moon that I can't see?
You've seen it in the past.
Okay.
And we've been told about it.
I just didn't know if it's his character knowledge that
Your
I know there's another moon.
character does know about it. It's just that it is said the reason why the second moon of a season is the most powerful is it's when it lines up with the hidden moon. And so the power of the two moons together is said to be the equivalent of a supermoon.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
So it's called the major moon of the season for that reason.
Yeah.
And so 4 times a year it lines up.
Alright, makes sense.
Would I know Atruaghin?
You would possibly have to learn to Atruaghin, but that's up to you.
How
do-
likely is a travelling circus going
Well-
to interact with the Atruaghin?
They wouldn't go into their lands because they wouldn't guarantee they can get out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that for a fact because your Atruaghin's way of entertainment is warfare.
I mean, we'd hold our own, but
Not for very long.
No.
So from your circus perspective, maybe 10% of them are warriors.
yeah.
From a Atruaghin perspective, 100% of their clan is warriors.
I'm also trying to figure out how much our other activities would be focused on the Atruaghin.
Not at all, because up until recently, they haven't looked like they would interact with the rest of the world.
So, yeah, I'd be watching Drachnima to get a feeling for the culture, but I don't know the language.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, they do give you the feel of it's a feudal side group. Has a very Japanese sort of feel
I was
to
going to
it.
say, is this the Japanese people? Because that was the other thought I had about my next character is Japan.
And thank you. And that they have actually brought this vessel for transport with Drachnima in mind.
Don't mind me standing. I'm actually, like, for some reason this is making me feel warmer, so I'm just gonna keep standing. I'm sorry to be awkward.
It's okay, you're not awkward. And so this is a vessel they use when they interact with the Atruaghin.
Ah, so they do it out of respect. That's
If they don't like metal, but hey, maybe that'll change apparently.
Poles,
They don't believe it will change, but hey.
Incasrian,
Well,
what's that?
let's go. Well, Dracula's leader, he'll certainly still be encouraging the idea that, hey, I like you.
And they also believe that your thing with metal is will be fleeting and will most likely disappear after the need does.
Do you want more than that? Like max
Mhm.
points?
That should be fine.
Finished.
So far they've focused on Drachnima and Drazel.
Mhm.
Are they reacting to any of us else otherwise?
Well, they seem to be shuffling each of you into what feels like a king's suite. Has luxuriously appointed soft seating.
One each, or all of us in the same one?
Shuffled into somewhere, and if she can. Is this what does the ship look like? Like, is it a dish? Is it a?
The actual edges of it are very hard to tell.
Okay. Is it like a ship where you, like, you know the airships you can like sit on the deck and look at all the stars and feel the wind and look at the towns below? I'm gathering this is not that kind of ship.
It doesn't appear to be that kind of ship. The room that they gestured to Calcrix to go into with Eve seems to have floor to ceiling windows.
My sister does this.
I see. Yep. But yeah, it doesn't. I can't think of the right word. It doesn't have like a deck. It's an inside ship, not an outside ship.
Does seem to be an inside ship, and it does have a big pile of pillows for Calcrix instead of cushions, instead of armchairs and other
Aw,
appointments.
I like that.
Drachnima, Calcrix will try to converse as much as she can, to the degree that she may not know their language, but she definitely would like to start to learn.
They do have a halting draconic. They don't seem to be able to speak it that well.
I will give them lessons if they will give me lessons.
So, was it all into one room?
You each got moved into a different room.
So we're separated?
You do find that each of the rooms do connect into a big open space.
Okay, alright.
Excuse hands, they are clean.
This is a big
And-
ship.
And that in the big open space seems to be where Calcrix is
Big
sitting.
ship in the sense of how much other space is there?
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Drizzle rooms, and then the middle one is Calcrix's.
Well, Drizzle doesn't seem to be taking any of the rooms.
Okay, so there's 4
Calcrix is a
rooms,
dragon,
and then
yes?
leading into center room of Calcrix.
How much volume of the ship does that appear to take up from the outside?
That is very hard to tell because you can't tell the dimensions of it.
Bigger on the inside. It's a TARDIS. Ooh, Pocky.
Sorry, what was that, Jeremy?
Appropriate.
Yes.
Yeah, because you mentioned it was hard to actually spot the edge of the ship with from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as you gather in the chamber where Calcrix is settled before the windows, talking to one of the Rakasta in Trifonic, you can sort of see the land below moving, and you don't feel the movement.
I will ask
That's fair
50,000 questions about how this ship works.
You can get that on
I
ships
know
on
they
water.
probably won't answer any of them, but I'm still going to ask enthusiastically.
Well, he does answer, except it just sounds like he's making noises.
Oh, so they won't. Oh.
Well, no. They can't actually talk the concepts in the language that you can talk in.
Oh, I see. The whole red ring.
Unless they are very careful about it.
I'm standing in the doorway to my room watching, but just
So
standing
we've
there
taken
watching.
off without even realizing because it's just moving and we can't feel it. Okay.
Yep.
Pocky feels very appropriate, Ariadna. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. I try to do a bit of everything.
Well, considering we're now basically in a cat Japanese society,
Ha ha.
I should have bought that shirt. That was sort of. I've
A
seen
cool,
one with a
like,
cat with like a samurai cat.
Would be sick.
And yes, there are samurai cats in the society.
I can't quickly turn around and make my Friday night character a Rakasta, can I?
And some
Wouldn't work so well because they're not part of the region.
Yeah.
and some of them do food delivery. So samurai pizza cats.
And like Drizzle, they steal people's stuff. Because they go, I don't believe you should be having that technology right now.
Yeah, it's ours now.
What's more, they take it away for safekeeping.
Very, very tempting. I like my lightning druid, but a Rakasta, Japanese, with a Japanese culture.
Backup character.
Yeah, you could combine them.
What you were told would
she's
most likely
Fey-touched.
take you close to a month's travel. You seem to be passing over Galantry as you're looking outside.
So how fast are we going to get there based on that calculation?
By that calculation, you're going to get there in under an hour.
Yeah. That's okay, yeah. You haven't got time to finish that coffee.
I was gonna say
I could finish a coffee in under an hour.
we're probably over Galantry before Lonnie
And it's
realizes
not-
that we've moved.
Yeah.
And
Also,
it's- So we're not gonna get
as you're
a
looking
long
outside,
rest.
you're realizing you're moving, and it's like, oh.
okay. We've just gone over the border of Glantry. I'm a bit worried.
We're not going to get a long rest.
Looking out at Galantry's this big.
Right, so a hell of a long way up.
We're outside the atmosphere.
Outside atmosphere. It's like the
Okay.
idea of
We're
the
doing-
plane going up and then coming back down.
Yeah, we're doing a semi-ballistic. So,
I bet they left the gravity on so we can't go all like.
well, we're probably not throwing up.
That'd be fun.
And then you see the outside.
for fun.
Outside, it seems to catch a light.
Yeah, we're re-entering the atmosphere now.
Yeah.
I'm torn because she's loving this new information, but she's also grieving.
Same.
And as you're watching, you see the ground just sort of come up alarmingly fast.
We're gonna stop, right?
Well, everything's alarmingly fast. right at the
I
moment.
question alarmingly for Calcrix. She likes fast.
Realizing how short a time we have, I think she's switched into information gathering mode and noticing everything she possibly can about
Yeah.
the furniture, about the art, about the culture, about the way they're speaking, the way they're interacting, just like full on open information mode.
So, disturbing things you notice. None of the furniture have seams. None of the cloth cushions have seams. None of the flooring or walls have seams.
I've seen stuff being grown.
None of the windows have seams. It's like the window is just part of the wall. Or the wall is the window.
I'm writing so fast I'm missing letters.
Magic can achieve this outcome.
Yep.
But requires a master crafter in magic to do so. Just any magician cannot make it.
Yeah.
So that would probably make me more. The problem I would have is because as a character, she was always trying to take in information in a non-biased way. This is the information, I will figure it out later. This is the information. When she's struck with this fear of the technology and this feeling, so she would have experienced this weird moment where part of her is like, this is tech. It makes sense, it's tech, but she cannot allow herself to think of that. But seeing the seamless, like the fact that everything is seamless, it almost feels grown, would probably relax that a little bit, because that gives her more of plausible deniability that this is magic, not tech.
Basically, the tech you heard of was more metallic than anything else, and was described with rivets and welds. And
It's like, this obviously isn't metallic, so it can't be technology.
Yeah, can't be tech. It has no rivets and seams and flashing little lights and.
Lonnie's probably chilling on the pillows next to Calcrix, just being relaxing.
And there are many, there are a couple
I like
of
that.
design flying vessels by humans that mimic this ability.
If Calcrix allows, Lonnie will
As an example, that
design
is one
another
of the
scale.
Human ones.
design another scale.
Oh.
Nice.
Drawing.
I like that
I like that. That's really cool.
Oh yeah.
I like that one.
She takes new drawings.
How big is that?
That is unknown because no one can actually measure it because they don't know how close it is.
What are we trying to measure?
It's completely mirrored surface of a flying dice, D20
Yeah,
dice.
it's a D20 dice with completely mirrored surface.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
And
a
so,
chrome D20.
because you can't actually get close enough to measure it until you hit it,
Right.
That's really funny.
that's partly why they did it that way.
It will be on video as well when you watch the video.
And that is the equivalent of an elven flying ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Elves do it for
Aesthetics.
peoples, not for communities. And so that would all show workmanship and pieces and be able to separate. So using magic and nature instead of just
So
magic.
the closest that the elves have is currently a flying forest going over Alfheim.
Yeah. One of the listed spaceships that they've got, it's basically it's a reasonably good sized ship that includes a treant. It heals. It's actually intelligent. The tree is actually effectively part of the treant.
That's cool.
Okay, so as you look outside, you see the trees get closer until they start rising up outside. And
Hopefully slowing down.
well, hard to tell how fast you're going when things are just rushing right past the window. Until you find that your everything just stops outside suddenly.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't.
but we don't feel it.
Well,
That's cool.
That aspect of it, Maika is enjoying a lot. She was just saying, like, Maika is a trapeze artist. That movement and the stop, and she would
Yep.
love that.
So movement that would break your legs doesn't do a thing.
Yeah, no, she's loving that.
It's the sort of thing you try and portray in your act.
Mm-hmm. That's the one, the trapeze. That's the other thing. All my family, like, we have very different performances, but there is at least
You
one.
do notice that as it comes to a stop, the lights inside do dim.
Uh-huh. You had to push it to get it to stop like that.
No, that's its stopping move. That's you are now free to move
Okay.
about the cabin.
What do we see out the window?
Okay, out the window you see what appears to be a castle built around a large tree. And into the branches and out along limbs, it looks to be a fortified tree.
Fair.
And Llewell does recognize its crest. You're looking at what you've read to be the Citadel of Wendar, home of the High Elves.
Okay.
And-
I will.
And someone's just thumbed their nose at the entire civilization.
Yeah, I was gonna say that landing here is very much like like forget you. We just maybe we're not getting off on the right foot.
When we, well, he
Potentially.
did tell us to just barge through traditions. Like, forget tradition,
Oh yeah,
forget
because
culture,
otherwise
just
we're never gonna get there.
punch through it. High elves, just in Mystara, are they the stereotypical, like, Galadriel type, you know, very pale, very gold?
High Elves in here are more the... we believe our magic is superior to everyone else, and everyone else should listen to how we tell them to do things.
So looks don't matter. It's like Galadriel. Looks don't matter. It's about arcane magical ability.
I know, elven arcane magical ability.
Elven arcane magical ability.
And if you haven't learned from them, you obviously haven't learned correctly.
So, yeah, this is at a stage where Maker stands behind Llewell and puts Llewell forward.
So from the Vialian culture, they shudder at ever coming here. Not because they feel they'll be unwelcome, it's just that these guys make pedantic look like it's a walk in the park.
And arrogance is a lifestyle.
Love it.
I'm a high elf, but I grew up did a lot of growing up in Darrakan. So I've got a lot of...
You don't have the high elf culture,
not so much, no.
and your family didn't teach you to be pedantic to the point of everyone wanting to stab you after 10 minutes.
You're just naturally that way.
I'm sorry, have you played with Dimitri? Llewell's fine.
I know.
Not on him. But yeah, grew up with wood elves and various others, and
I was gonna say you
spent
grew
a
up
lot
in
of time
a
around humans and others.
yeah. I was gonna say you grew up in a multicultural, multi-species
Yep.
background, so not a lot around only high elves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the high elves are the ones that push Ilsundil's beliefs onto everyone. That's an elf, and everyone that's not.
Westboro Baptist Church of Elves.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it took them over 2 years to ask a non-elf for help. Which meant they were extremely desperate,
Yeah.
because they advertised for only elves to help them for the first 2 years.
And wasn't this
And
3
none-
years ago they asked for a non-elf for help?
Mm-hmm.
And it's taken us 3 years to answer the call. Hey, in their view, we're right on time.
Yeah.
Ilsundor. Like, technically, I follow Ilsundor because I am an elf.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like that, like, talking about Seika's god,
You wouldn't follow.
wouldn't be Ilsundor.
It wouldn't be your core belief, but it's part of your cultural
Yeah.
belief.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like this low hum in the background to...
Yeah. He's the head of the pantheon that you're...
So sort of think Greek culture, where you have Zeus at top, and Zeus can be a prick at times. So Ilsundor's at top, Ilsundor can be a prick at times. And so you follow one of the other gods, but you sort of understand that you've got to pay attention to what the top dog wants so you don't get stepped on.
The Vialian elves, because we're not, from what I understand, we're not like high elf arcane magic. We're rangers, we're druids, we're
You're more
rogues.
you're closer to the wood elves in the sense that you're more nature focused.
So as a culture, we're not particularly focused on Ilsundor at all. Like it's just like you said, Zeus is there. It's just we're not.
And because he provides the power of the tree of life, which gives the entire culture purpose.
Yeah.
Which means if you didn't follow him, you wouldn't have the tree.
So we do follow, but it's more the way that a lot of Christians nowadays follow God.
Yes, it's
You give him reference but not worship.
the tree keeper themselves would be going, I pay deference to Ilsundor, but let's follow this guy instead.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how present Ilsundor is in my life, because I don't like, as a character and as a player, I don't think I particularly like him.
Well, he is the one that all the histories say saved them. And those who didn't follow his belief died off. Except for, you now got proof they didn't.
I also know, as a information gatherer, history is written by the winners.
Well, Ilsundor was the historian as well.
Yeah.
As their first king of their second realm.
Yep. So, he's there. If I had to choose...
So you would give him the following. You would give basically a rule book. So it's like I've been given a code of laws to follow. I give the laws the belief to not trip over them and get myself into trouble when it's going to cause me trouble. So. More of a rule than a guideline because you know that he is a very rule-following person.
Yeah.
But it's not true belief.
Pirate's code.
Yeah,
It is not the pirate's code.
Yeah.
Whereas your god is more like the pirate code, in as long as you're keeping the intent and not the word,
They're more
you're
like
more than happy.
guidelines.
Yeah, it is belief and faith, but it's belief and faith in the pantheon of the elves,
Not
of which he's the
necessarily,
boss.
yeah.
And then there's the one you give particular reverence to.
And as long as you follow the belief of the one,
Yeah.
you generally protected from most of the issues of the others.
And like the god that I follow being part of the pantheon would not contradict anything that is Isildur.
You'll only contradict it if it's important to that god.
And
And that means you're walking the knife edge of what your god asks against what Ilsundor forbids.
the one we were talking about for Seika, for the elven god that was more about...
Trickster god.
Yeah, the elven
Yeah.
trickster god.
His,
Is that...
his whole thing is avoiding Ilsundor's rules.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's always finding
Yeah,
a workaround,
stop.
but it's not direct opposition.
You technically said this, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that.
Yeah, your god's a rules lawyer.
Yep, excellent.
Okay, so as you're sitting there watching it, you realise that you are standing on the leaves in front of the citadel.
They've teleported us outside.
As you feel a breeze above and the deep humming noise as it's taken off.
Yep. Well,
That's why they agreed to do it, because it was... Let's go for a quick trip!
Yeah, plus...
Exchange names.
Yeah.
Calcrix has managed to exchange names among a few other things that we'll talk about later.
Calcrix would like to also, even hopefully they understand it, she would like to enroll in a correspondence course in their language. I know how ridiculous that sounds, that's why I said it.
Since we were transported very suddenly, Lonnie wasn't necessarily paying attention because Lonnie was just chilling. And then all of a sudden she's outside. She's like, "Oh, I wanted to say thank you." Try to look at your pictures and know that I said thank you.
The moment... See, you just didn't pay attention. The moment that I realised how fast... Maika realised how fast we were going,
Yeah.
she paid attention to everything.
Yeah, Lonnie willfully was not paying attention. She was just along for the ride, and then before she knew it, right
And from Seeker's perception, one moment the wall was there and the next it wasn't. There was no sensation of it going away.
Yeah.
Yes, I just slurp up everything.
How do I say thank you in Rakasta? I'm not gonna say that to them. That is a player thing, not.
I could send them a sending.
Calcrix doesn't know how to talk at them, but her and 8 will make a damn good attempt at mimicry.
I feel like
Dear.
Calcrix could definitely.
They
learn
guided
how
me
do
to a
it.
room. They didn't interact with me in any other way.
terms of
I'm not really gonna.
Civilization?
Unless they actually talk to me, I don't care if they don't. I don't thank them.
Well, they do know the elven distaste of technology, and so they went out of their way not to cause too much.
I feel like
Calcrix
Lonnie.
has no such distaste of technology.
And she
Which
wasn't.
means Drachnema thinks she's even better and more what's that?
I'm sure Drachnema approves of you talking with them because of the fact that he talked to them as well.
Ah, well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking.
But she'll leave them with one of her infamous thermoses of coffee to keep them warm on their home voyage.
But
And you do notice that Calcrix has a Rakastan slate.
A Rakastan
Slate.
sled.
slate. Okay.
Slate, yes.
Right.
I have a Rakastan slate?
Yes.
When did I acquire that?
Explain that in Lonnie terms.
So in
Just
learning
give it-
terms, it is their writing implements.
Oh, okay. So my
Well,
correspondence course is
you did-
officially open.
You got
Yes,
an iPad.
you did ask them. They gave it to you.
Yeah, no, and she will write. And they will
I'll add
regret
it to your inventory.
And in exchange, they're minding a couple of gems for you.
Oh, are they now?
And currently holding them a couple of probably about 100 Ks outside the atmosphere.
Okay.
Hmm.
Am
Keeping
I
safe.
reassured that I will get these gems back at some point?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I will-
Drezel had made that arrangement with you.
I will thank them as best as Calcrix can, which is probably along the lines of meow, 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 meow.
So
What did you say about my mother?
you were told it's in a easily detectable container sitting outside the atmosphere with no atmosphere around it.
Right.
Currently with their security aimed at it, waiting for whoever's looking for it to pop up and suffocate.
I look over at Drazzle and I'm like, good choice.
So it's easily detectable by those looking for it.
The lack
Yeah.
of interaction between the Rakastans and Maika, she knows no malice and has no malice against it. It's just they will just be separate.
Yeah.
We appreciate each other, but
They're doing aloof cats impressions.
yeah, it's not in a party where you are deliberately ignoring somebody to spite them.
No, it
It's
is
there's different circles.
happening not to be there.
It's very, very big cat like stalking and waiting for their prey.
Yep.
Yep.
Although they've been given a chance to hunt. So they've now laid the bait.
I feel like out of
More ninja than
yeah.
samurai.
more than Lonnie with just her human voice, Calcrix definitely has the physical form to be able to learn the Rakasta language, most likely.
Yeah, I probably could growl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if Lonnie did it, it's very much that meow, meow, whatever, sounding like a 1-year-old to them, but
Whereas I'm more
or sounding like a
As a kid's doing this.
yeah, exactly. Or what's the other type of cats? The dumb ones?
tabaxi.
The tabaxi.
Probably Lonnie probably sounds really good tabaxi to them. It's just like
Most of them, if you talk to them like that, will just pat you on their head and look at you
it's
for
like,
shaking the head.
oh.
Because you sound like a kitten.
Yeah.
Dumb one.
And to them, the
Yeah.
tabaxi sound like kittens who have never grown up.
Yeah, kitten
Yeah.
hillbillies is what they sound like.
Kittens with practice. Not a good thing.
Did I notice anything else interesting, or shall I just remember that I've studied as much as I can in a brief flash of
You're
time?
studying a lot of stuff there, but they
Nothing
kept,
that sort of prompts in my head is important right this second.
you know, they kept any of their tech hidden. They kept any of their secrets hidden because as much as they're helping you, they're not teaching you.
Mm.
The fact they gave Calcrix something is a shock because that's normally against their belief.
Yeah, I'm also
To get
used to
involved.
putting together.
Not to get involved, to share.
Mm.
They
I'm-
don't share their tech.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
But they know Calcrix won't be able to get anything out of it
They
apart
do.
from what she's agreed to. So they'll
well,
probably
it's
fine
not
with
just
it.
that, but she's been on the Isle of Dread quite a bit, and she's
Yeah.
done the stuff with the Titans. So
That
I
too.
suspect this is why she's.
You've got a lot of leniency that other people haven't got.
Yeah.
But Seika's trained, like, not saying I need information, but just for future reference, Seika is trained to find the information or find the clues that aren't there.
Well, that was why I went on about everything not having seams, because for most other people you wouldn't
Yeah.
be looking for that.
Yeah.
You'll be
So-
looking for the
I noticed
looking
it,
at the opulence. You'll be looking at the fact that they
Oh,
cater
yeah.
to every person.
Yeah. Well, part of the opulence is going, yeah, well, I can't see any, there aren't any actual seams. Okay, that's rather cool. Yeah.
It's just
But
this
I-
moment is stored
Yeah.
in her head as a, if needed for future
Yeah.
future reference.
Pretty well the same.
And you did the equivalent of a week's travel in less than
Less than an hour. Yeah.
nothing moves that fast.
Yes. Observant feet.
Yeah,
Useful.
I mean you're very
Yeah,
similar,
so
so
much the same. From that point of
So
See-
from
your
the-
attitude to it is different.
That's why I'm pretty sure Lonnie has the
for me
this
it's
because she's very much just like, hey, this is
Yeah.
cool.
we do similar
And from-
things, just different ways.
Yeah.
From what
it's
you've
what you do.
heard, the
my
gnomish city
Who you
on
are.
full
It's what I
power
am.
would have left the Recuston ship behind.
Yeah.
Because the engine on that is designed to travel between the stars.
In reasonable time.
And the fact that it's got a city on top, they're doing the equivalent of we're in the standby mode. It's running on standby power.
Yeah.
It's like putting an F1 engine into a
Go-kart.
Yeah.
But
or
on,
a love bug.
on standby power, it had enough to get it off the ground, and then Redrin included active power into it.
Yeah. There's actually an actual car that had the right comparison. Some guy saw an old 1930s semi-truck and decided he was going to... The vehicle itself wasn't much use, but he found the engine was actually still in good condition. So he took the engine out and basically built a hot rod out of it. 18-litre two-cylinder diesel. Sorry, two-stroke diesel.
That's awesome.
And there's so much power in that thing that it idles at highway speed.
That's hilarious.
He does not rev it, he doesn't need to. If he actually he's actually got it
So that's-
governed so he can't actually, it won't
That's
rev.
the Nova
There's no
City.
point. That's exactly my point, that's what this is doing. He's got, I'm doing idle speed, I'm not touching the accelerator, I'm doing
It's just on.
80 miles an hour. If I want to do
I'm on
100,
cruise
I-
control.
Yeah.
And there's so much extra energy in it, it's fueling everything else they do. And that's just on pilot.
Yeah.
Free energy for the society. This is great.
Basically,
This is
yeah, it's one of the things we've got to get back from Redrin.
communist dream.
Yes, we've got to go and steal it.
Well, he doesn't. He's not going to be putting his ship back together. Technically, because it hasn't been built yet.
Yeah, but he still wants the bits out of
He doesn't want anyone else
out of
reverse engineering it.
well,
He doesn't
yeah.
want them to
Plus there's sort of some of the radiations from some of them is a bad thing too.
Okay, so yes, as you're here, you do see two guards wearing the grey and gold of the Wendar. Sort of approach
Grey and gold?
hesitantly. Grey and gold, yes.
Yep. I will
And salute Luel.
I will read them and ask to do I know their leader?
Their leader is known as Lord Gilly Harron.
Yep.
Even though he is technically their king, he doesn't use the
King
Yeah.
title.
king title, no.
He
Yeah.
just uses Lord.
Because he believes kingdoms are for the lesser people.
Of course.
Literally would be his statement.
Okay.
He is. Yes.
I'm intelligent as space, but I'm like, that's dumb.
Yes. I consider myself so far higher than anyone else that I don't even go for king because there's no point.
It's like you ever met somebody who's so smart, they're just dumb.
Yeah.
That is
That's
how a lot of
his
the other races think of the high elves in general.
Yeah.
But those who pontificate so much so that you can get more conversation out of an ant in Antish than you can out of a high elf.
Yeah.
I'm watching everything,
Mm.
noting how they react to everybody in the party.
They ignore everyone but Luell.
Luell is actually quite glad that he's not like other high elves, because he finds them annoying.
Though they do refer to you as Keeper of the First Blade.
Ooh. 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 They know things.
They know things. Anyway, I will greet them. I will greet them appropriately. I will say, we are here to speak with your lord, and I'll give you his name.
Prophecy has said you would come at the time we needed you, with that annoying voice of, why the hell haven't you come sooner?
This sounds like they don't respect prophecy, you know.
Yes.
the time we indicated was.
He gets a half-second link.
At which point he just turns around and starts walking off, you assuming he's done his part of the duty and expects you to follow.
Yes. We're being arrogant at each other.
Do I get the feeling that if I changed form tomorrow, that they're not going to blink an eye, or
They probably won't pay much attention to you because you don't come across as Titan.
is it like the Alarum ambassador with Hildren, where I didn't exist, so whatever I did didn't matter?
Yes.
Quite possibly, yes.
Excellent.
Um,
I just don't want to be stuck too much in one form.
No.
you don't look like a high elf to them, so you look like the riffraff that come in.
And if they're not noticing me, that's fine. It's not
Yes.
what Matt Ika's used to, but it's fine.
Yes. It's what's happened before. You're part of the background.
I'm just in the wrong form for it.
I was
My
gonna say,
Ika takes up space.
Yes.
Yeah, so like a little bit, but not surprised.
Yes.
I feel a little bit uncomfortable because it's like I'm wearing the wrong clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we've got
And you notice Drezel has his cart with him, even though you don't remember him getting it onto the ship.
I wouldn't remember this
would've
cart
worked
being on the
something out.
island. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. See, this cart always shows up when it's supposed to. I'm gonna learn.
definitely when.
I'm gonna learn one of these days how he does it.
So you can have your own.
Not said out loud.
Hildren would very much say. Hildren, if my Wednesday character was here, she would say, yeah, I wouldn't.
No. I, as a player, have to be very careful about the comments I make and make sure I'm saying I don't say that out loud. Because I know that my word will be taken against me.
Yes.
Maybe you'll inherit it.
Lonnie the Undying.
Well, I have suggested that Lani may have to take over from Drezel at
Yeah,
some
maybe
point.
you'll inherit the cart.
It has been
Oh dear.
suggested.
Because Drezel had said he won't live forever.
Yeah.
This was a hell of a long time, man.
So who are you going to feed the horse?
Everybody else, apparently. According
Well, that's
to
fair.
who I'm supposed to be working for eventually.
Cool. I just didn't want to
Okay,
get stuck.
so
Yeah.
does Luell follow?
Yes.
Does he suggest everyone else follows?
I will suggest everyone else follow.
I'm a follower.
I will also not attempt to catch up.
I'm following previous advice of not listening to protocols, so I'm just gonna be my human self.
Yep.
It's gonna annoy the shit out of them,
Yes.
but I'm fine with it.
Yes, it's going to be a quiet. Come on.
Okay, so you
So-
see
It's
Drezel
dangerous.
gets on his cart, and as his cart moves, you hear it squeak for the first time. A rather annoying grating squeak.
You're doing it deliberately.
He used to
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But musically, it doesn't grate on any of your ears.
No.
But you see everyone in the city wins each time it makes that noise.
Love it. That's awesome. Give Drazzle a knowing like, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you find yourself taking a path that winds up this great tree
Yep.
until
Cool.
you reach the sanctuary of the main tower of the citadel.
Yep.
And you see an old man in grey and gold robes sitting in the actual sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
They The two guards who were leading you up here are standing either side of him.
Yep.
And he dismisses them as you finally arrive. He does have that look of waiting.
Well, yes, he's going to try and give the impression of, I've been waiting for you for 3 years, where the frick have you been?
And you notice him wince every time the screech comes from the wheels of the cart.
I like it.
I will bow and greet him as appropriate for his position as king. No more than that.
In Will's quick
So
manner.
this is the King of Wendell.
Yep.
Do
I'm
we
sort of
know
standing
anything
next
about
to you
him?
and twitching.
Not much, except that he refers to himself as Lord a lot.
Oh, so he's a third person type?
Yeah.
Okay, so the entire time Calcrix is here, she's going to refer to herself in the third person too.
Oh dear.
I like it.
But in a way that it's like, this is what she
Condescending.
does all the time. It's
Oh.
natural, she's a dragon.
This is obviously how
Okay,
Calcrix
so
does things.
amusingly, he does have a way of how he greets everyone,
Mm-hmm.
which you've now got some inkling of.
Yes.
He says, greetings. Normally he would add my friends, but he's not going to add that at this point.
No.
Really?
Yes. Well, one, he's only met one of you before, and he doesn't want to have a repeat of what happened last time.
Yeah.
Do we know what happened last time?
You.
No, he met Drezel,
Oh, okay.
and
Oh, yeah, he
technically he
just
has
met
no
Drezel.
memory of meeting Calcrix.
Ah, okay.
No, he doesn't have a memory of meeting Calcrix.
He said, and he continues, you see before you the ruler of this declining kingdom.
Calcrix will look around.
I am Gilliam, the Wizard King, which, considering he normally calls himself as Lord Gilliam, is an interesting contradiction.
Well, he refers to himself as Lord, but his title is Wizard King.
I have asked
So
you to come
fair.
here in the fervent hope that you will undertake a very dangerous quest on behalf of myself and the people of Wendar. But first, let me explain the situation.
Oh God.
Okay, so more than a day's worth of light passes
Right.
as you get from it that many years ago they were at war with the dark realm of Denegarth to the north of the Mengal Mountains.
Is that okay?
That's okay. Their forces were reeling before the onslaught of the savage invaders. In the midst of the crisis, he appealed to the great sage of Wendar for assistance. In his wisdom, they gave them a wondrous gemstone known as the Elven Star.
Mm-hmm.
It was a brilliant green sapphire the size of a man's fist, and its power was beyond reckoning.
Calcrix does not look guilty or give away the fact that she's knows exactly what this is.
He used this star to effect great magics that turns the tide of battle. The dark hosts were scattered, and the evil designs of the Lord of Denegarth were thwarted. After the War of the Elven Star protected them from our enemies, the threat of its power forestalled any attempts at subsequent invasion. For almost 30 years, he ruled this realm certain of the knowledge that their peace and prosperity were assured. Then disaster struck. The Elven Star disappeared.
Martin,
Yeah.
can you remind me the circumstances under which we ended up with the two green stones?
You walk into Wendar.
Yep.
You walk out of Wendar.
Right.
So, as far as
It was planted on you.
characters and players are concerned, nothing's known. But I think Calcrix did some investigation, and because she really wanted to check should she give it back, and the ultimate end of her investigations was she needed to hold on to them both to keep them safe.
So the Dark Fae Vampire Lord from Karamikos would have taken it if it was there.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm keeping it out of the hands of a bad
The one I'm
guy,
thinking of?
but
You say-
unfortunately,
Yeah.
while doing that, I'm also keeping it out of the hands of people who could use it, but would just have it taken off them.
And Seeker suddenly remembers that one of the things they always seem to ask wherever the circus goes is about these green gemstones.
Okay.
But I don't know if she has it. As a player, I know her inventory.
Yes.
But as a character, I don't know if
You
she
know,
has it.
Yeah, well, none of us know.
No, no one does. Not even the group she walked in with knows.
Mm.
I gave up a lot of downtime.
So soon after this happened, the plague ravaged the city, killing hundreds.
Okay.
Of late, a severe drought has withered their crops and denied them precious water.
So, you know when Kalkrick says she understands the regret the Librarian has been through and lives that have been lost as a result of her actions?
Yeah.
This is one of them, but
Yeah.
it couldn't be avoided.
Mm.
His people go hungry, thirsty, and what is worse, civil strife has all but destroyed the goodwill of the Wendarians.
Mm.
Now it is all his guard can do to keep order in the city. But these things could be overcome if it were not for his greatest fear.
Mm-hmm.
Without the Avon Star, we are more vulnerable to attack from Denagoth. The Dark Lord of this dark realm is the evil necromancer Ladrian Teriak, the
Do
Shadow
I
Lord.
recognize that name from my association with Zal?
No.
So is Denagath the Shadow Lord?
Denagoth is the nation.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Shadow Lord is the ruler of that nation.
Can you give me his name again?
Redrigar something or other.
He knows the heart of his creature, and his ambition knows no bounds. Even now, his dark legions are fighting a war against their people.
Okay. This has taken too long if we haven't even been able to have a long rest. Because the sun's moved in the sky. And B,
This
I
is all the
feel
information
like-
you get over many hours of discussion.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like Seika, the moment he starts referring to himself as the Wizard King and Lord and in third person, and is constantly calling this other guy, like, the Dark, and, like, really heightening the evil,
Yeah.
she's suspicious of everything. Every word out of his mouth, she's like, okay, I need to hear the other side because this is bullshit.
There's furthermore, they have ascertained that the Elven Star itself is in Denagoth, undoubtedly in the hands of his old enemy.
Okay.
Well, we know there's 4. Kalkrick says 2, and Dimitri stuck 1 on the top of the mountain.
You know there's 5, I told you that.
Oh, 5, sorry. Yeah, 1 for all the
Yeah.
elements or something?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Mystara. Everything's
Sorry.
in 5s.
Is this the one that, to me, no, this isn't the Hollow Crown, this is a different set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a different set.
Yep.
But that's why I made you going to give it away.
Mm-hmm.
5 stones of life-giving power.
Yeah.
So, the 2 green,
They're all green.
they're all green.
They're all green. But green stones that appear to be of different types. So like a green sapphire, a green emerald,
I
a
was going
green
to say,
diamond.
you said sapphire earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, green sapphire. It was specified as
It's
green.
not many, not common to have them of different colours, but they do exist.
Yeah.
Yes, the only sapphire you won't get is a red one.
And
Oh, white sapphires.
he knows that the Shadow Lord cannot use the gemstone properly. He believes.
Is it, wait, hold on.
There
Is that his belief that he can't use it properly because maybe he doesn't know his power, or is that him being racist?
Racist,
Both
sure.
at this point.
He's not an elf, therefore it's
I
going to
guess
be
at
wrong.
the appropriate time, I'd probably like to do insight just to make sure that this isn't a really big sob story.
He does say without
Oh,
the
it
star,
totally
they
is.
are no match for the hosts of Denagoth.
Yeah.
It would appear that it is a war they cannot win.
Mm.
Your only chance is to recover the Elven Star before it's too late. We are certain that it's in Denagoth, but we do not know where. It's an uncharted realm, and no Wendarian has ever returned from there. And the last group they sent disappeared as well.
in the back of my head is that if we find a star, there is no way they're getting it back.
Well, considering there's 5 of them, it's in our interest to track down this one.
Yeah.
He did say green, didn't he? He mentioned green stones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That the Elven Star is a green stone, green sapphire. And something that gives life. It is very rare in gemstones.
Yeah.
And your circus had tracked 3 of them to the Wizards of Wine's winery, but we're too late.
Sorry, 3 of them were tracked to where?
The Wizards of Wine winery.
Yeah.
Literally on the other side of the mountain range from Wendell.
Right.
So 3 with
And that's currently where the undead are fighting.
Wizards of
How does that?
Wizards of
Wizards
Wine.
of Wine's winery.
2, 1, 3.
That's 4 stones all up so far. And the 5th stone was recovered that was not related to those. Attached to Baba Lasaga's mountain, moving mountain.
Okay. So, do I think that, not knowing Calcric's stuff, that if they have one of the stones, if they have the green stone, that it's the one that the circus is after and thus my patron is after?
Well, he's after all 5.
Yes, but 1 is a good start, considering we haven't been able to find anything.
1 is more than 0.
And we're certain that the 3 that were with the Wizards of Wine winery, they're not there anymore.
90% improvement.
Can guarantee.
So this is where...
As the circus's patron had investigated himself personally.
Yeah. So this is where there seems to be the focus of the current issue.
They always seem to want to come together.
2 of them have achieved that wish.
Yeah.
The gems, or do you mean the people them coming together? Is it the gems or the dead, the
Gems.
undead, and the?
The gems always seem to congregate close proximity to each other.
Okay.
Where you find one, you'll generally find the others.
Okay. Except we won't, because we know where 3 of them are. Well, we don't, but
Players do. Characters don't.
Some of the characters. do,
So,
yeah.
Seiko would definitely.
oh, I'm
probably-
interested, but I also don't trust a word this guy is saying,
Yeah.
and I hate him instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't hate most people.
Yeah.
I don't trust them. I don't
Yeah.
open myself up to them.
Yes.
I just feel
I
like
hate him actively.
This guy's
Lonnie,
arrogant
Lonnie
for hire.
is
So yeah.
taking the problem seriously, but isn't taking this guy seriously.
But like the way he talks,
Unfortunately,
it's
no one does.
bardic.
Yeah.
It's constructed.
Would not be
And for
surprised
her, that
if
rates.
Lonnie
He's
is
telling
fighting
a
to stay
story,
awake.
and
Yeah.
It's very obvious.
Because I swear,
Totally
especially if he's like.
So
real
I'm now very
monster.
interested because I want to know the truth.
And so
and I
he,
want to pull
so
pants.
he-
pull
he's
his
this
pants
guy
down, basically.
asking for help,
Yes.
but being so pedantic and overly explaining everything to the point of even making Llewell lose concentration more than once.
So while we're listening to this story, Cal Crooks is quietly making very strong coffee, handing it out to people,
Would not
and
be
then
surprised-
passing cookies around to help with their health.
It would not be surprising if Calcrix has to poke Lonnie with her tail every now and then.
Oh, I'm
Obviously,
awake, but I'm.
obviously this guy sounds nothing like Dimitri.
Oh yeah, nothing.
Right.
Dimitri wouldn't ask for help.
Yes, true.
There's that, and the timbre of his voice is a bit different. But yeah.
I'm in this sort of stage
Dimitri would
where
inform.
the personality that I have in this form lashes out when she doesn't like somebody. It's always like spiteful words, or and she's stuck because he won't acknowledge her, which is fine because for every other aspect she'd like that, but she's not used to that in this form, and she's stuck because she wants to. Her instinct is to demand attention
Yeah.
Yeah.
and to then take this guy down a peg, but she knows she can't and she shouldn't.
Yeah.
And amongst this, she's still grieving for 2 good friends.
Yeah.
She just wants to go away, but she can't.
And you see that he's only telling this all to Llewell in front of everyone else, so he doesn't have to repeat himself.
Oh yeah, no, Lonnie's
So-
And last time she reacted to something like this,
TLDR from Luau.
last time if it was Seika or Bray, there would have been a different reaction.
It would have
Yeah.
been completely different.
And if Seika, like the last, though Seika might have hesitated because last time this happened, she killed somebody with a giant elk.
This might be the worst form that you could be
Yes.
out of this guy.
This is horrible.
Because you want to be snarky, but you've got to be responding to something to do it.
Everybody.
Yes, sir,
like,
Edna.
My spring one is.
Do we get a sense that the information this guy is giving is helpful?
Well, it is telling you where he believes you need to go to solve their problem.
Yeah.
But
Could have
it-
been said 5 hours ago.
He could have said it in a single paragraph.
Mm.
But he managed to extend it into the equivalent of 8 hours of
So I'm me twitching.
Is,
Like,
is, there,
pedantic, not helpful information.
is
Yeah.
there any
Yeah, have some context.
any way we could influence him to speed up? Like, I don't know, giving him a very strong coffee?
That would be. I feel like this is his sped up version.
Yeah.
Maybe. I was just checking.
So you try giving him a coffee, he enjoys the coffee without talking and then starts from the start.
Oh, God.
Oh god.
Sorry.
At that
I won't do that
moment,
again.
I roll my eyes and try to leave. Does anybody respond to me at all?
There are guards standing at the entryway blocking it.
But they don't look at me. They're just there.
They just block the entryway.
Oh, I'm really tempted to do something right now.
Lonnie will have Micah come sit next to her. And we'll make.
It's like I'm a big cat prowling. I'm like prowling at the edge
You
of the
feel
cage,
very
a tiger
trapped.
watching
Yes.
the people going, I want to eat those.
I'm going to silently
Thank you.
entertain ourselves.
Lonnie will be near you and be a rock.
Yeah, no, because
Use
I
it
am.
orbit.
So, what you gather between his long small talk is that Denagath has gone to war with them because they've lost whatever edge they had over them.
Mm.
Somehow, they are subverting the power of the Tree of Life.
They're true.
Yes, because the Tree of Life
Daniel
stops.
Golf?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow the Tree of Life suppresses undead in their region.
Mm.
You cannot, undead cannot approach within a certain radius of the Tree of Life.
Okay.
Didn't I hear something about this on my
Very
Adventures
likely,
in Friday
yes.
group?
Yes.
But is the power now waning for this year's events?
They don't seem to be moving their tree, so
They're
they
not-
haven't had to drain it of its power.
Okay.
But it's not stopping the Shadow Lord's advances. So he's somehow found a workaround around the Tree of Life.
Mm.
So that's why he believes that they have a green gem.
Yeah.
And
Did
from-
he? Wait, hold on. Did he say they have one, or did he say we believe they have one?
Well, he believes they have one.
Yeah.
Which is
so
the
that
same
means
thing for him.
nothing. That means zilch.
Yeah,
That means
no, I
absolutely
don't think
nothing.
I don't think they have one.
Don't trust any of this.
But look,
But
if they might.
The enemy is the
Oh,
same.
if they do, I'm
Yeah,
definitely after
So
it.
he has
Though I won't be able to remember based on
identified
what I
who's
know of the
attacking
stats.
them, and the fact that he had used the gemstone against them.
Yeah.
So how they're attacking and why they're attacking, you may be able to intercede and stop,
Yeah.
which is the equivalent of finding the gem.
Mm.
Because he's basically asking you to stop the war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, only a small feat. Sure. Yeah. There's war that has been going on for a while. Oh, please, come stop the war for
Yeah,
us.
we're serious.
And
Serious
he's-
now.
And he put it down to the fact that there's this green gem that can stop it.
Mm.
All right.
Such that he has probably been abusing its power.
So
He probably over relied on it. And
That's
so
fine.
when he
Yeah.
lost it, he didn't have a foot
That's the
stand
other
on.
reason
Also
why I'm
possible.
pacing, is
Yeah.
I want to report back. There is a lot I've learned, and I want to report to Satoshi,
Oh,
and I can't. I am
True.
10 different reasons for wanting to get out of this room.
Yeah.
I'm grieving, so I'm emotionally heightened. I'm in my most heightened emotional form,
Yeah.
and I am stuck.
And he does believe that the Shadow Lord is serving the Lady of Vengeance.
Ooh, so who's serving the Lady of Vengeance?
The Shadow Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy that we're after.
Yes.
So this is where I'm likely to meet my sister.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I am a bit sad it wasn't our theory of eat.
Yeah.
Do
Raphael got
I
this
need
too.
to do insight to get the idea that this guy is being mostly truthful? He believes what he's saying.
Well, you're sure he believes everything he's saying,
Yep.
but he may have talked himself into believing all that he's saying.
Okay. Well, that's
And he's probably very good at making everyone understand he believes what he's saying.
right.
No matter how well you roll,
Mm.
he has the reputation of always saying the truth, even if he's telling a lie.
Didn't someone have like a
I-
truth spell?
I don't have a spell. I have an ability.
Okay.
And even your ability will keep
No.
bringing everything comes across as true.
Everything comes across as true.
He's
He
probably
believes
told,
it.
he's probably told the story often enough that he believes it.
Yeah. That's the thing. You can't pick an actual
It
truth.
did
Just whether someone
Cross my
believes it.
mind,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
if he believes that
So
it
there's
is
no
true,
way
then-
around his
What you
capacity.
might
Not many
do
people
there is
have the
other
ability
people
to make
around you,
everything they
know
believe to
the
sound
actual
true.
Is
You could tell their reaction
Is
as
Drazzle with
different
us?
from his.
I
Drazdal
just straight
is
up
with you,
disbelieve-
yes.
in his form. I
Um,
just straight up disbelieve
I just
him.
wanna
I
read
hate
Drazzle's-
everything about this moment.
Response. Is he
Yeah,
just
yeah.
completely
The
impassive?
skill could be used.
He's got his book out
but
and
you
he's
wouldn't
doodling.
think of
To
it.
use it that
No.
way now. Yeah, that's
I
fair.
take a note from Drazzle's behaviour, and I
could
also
make
take
a
my
very
book out.
big kerfuffle.
I make notes of the
I faced
important
it
stuff,
very easily.
but around
But-
my notes
Yeah.
is this
I'm not going to.
incredibly flowery calligraphy. Gotta find a way to pass the
Pillar
time.
or something like that and don't come out the
I'll
other
just
side.
straight up face it past the guards, but I won't.
Yeah.
Okay, so after at least 10 hours have passed since you've been standing in front of the king,
Yeah, love that.
he finally stops talking and says he will let you have a meal and then ask your response. As in let, not
During this 10
Not
hours, I
request.
have been passing out coffee and dried fruit and nuts and
And he called himself he called for an elf and a speaker. I mean, look, he worked better than his 25 hours holding the floor constant speaking. That's basically.
Yeah.
I
At
feel
this
like
point, even-
somebody feels a little bit
Cory Booker.
insecure and needs to tout
Yes.
their capabilities.
Even like
teasing.
nobody is keeping me away. I am pacing in front of those guards. I want out.
And once you hear that he let you off some food, the guards step aside.
Oh, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Is anyone following me?
Yeah.
No, I want to know if any of them are
While
following me.
we're there for that 10 hours, what sort of room are we in?
You're in one of those. Think of it's a big wooden room with walls for privacy and only one seat, which is what the king's sitting on.
Yes.
So it's an audience chamber where people have to be deferential to him. So he made you stand or sit on a hard wooden surface for 10 hours.
Mm.
For most people, that would be uncomfortable.
I was gonna say, if
Cal-
I was
Calcrix
sitting, could I have
looks
been
at-
colored into Calcrix?
Looks at Eep at one point and goes, so tempting.
Oh dear.
And then she kind of like puts attention back onto what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm out the door. Is anyone following? Not our party. I'm sure they'll, any of the guards, any of the Wendarians, anybody
They
noticing
seem
my.
to ignore you.
Excellent.
What do
Except for the fact that I'm not in the mood. I just want somewhere to be away from these, and I want to change.
Okay, so you look as if you're going to have to exit the tree, taking the path all the way down.
I can fly
anyone
you down
stop
if
me?
you want.
No, I'm gone. Like, you guys would have to catch up with me.
Okay.
I am out.
Certainly, Dracula was standing unobtrusively in the back of the audience chamber the whole time, and
Yeah.
his aim would be to have actually paid attention and listened the whole way through. Possibly taking advantage of his aspects that he can normally ignore, the first level of fatigue.
Yeah.
It's normally got into long distance running and things like that.
You did have to call upon all your strengths to not yawn or lose concentration on what was being
Oh, I
said.
heard everything, and I took everything
I mean,
in.
from
Yeah.
Dimitri's perspective. I mean, Dracma's perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dimitri would have interrupted him the whole time.
I feel like he snoozed.
Oh,
yeah, no offense. No, I feel like Lani was standing there going,
I was hardcore, like, in and out of paying attention to what was going on, like catching up to important bits, fully expecting that she's just gonna ask Luella later, like, alright, what are we doing?
And then after waking up, he says, I should start again. And you go,
Like, that's when she's very much gonna make sure that
She's on the other side of Calcrix?
she's not
Yeah.
sitting.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna
she's gonna
say-
hide behind Calcrix's wing a little bit for her small nap.
and Caprix would make the occasional noises to cover up the snoring.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's not like he can't again unless it was plural that had fallen asleep.
Yeah, so as long as Clural stayed awake.
So, yeah.
Oh, no,
Sorry for the caffeine.
he did get given a coffee, which he drank, and then he started again.
No, I only did that once.
That's what I said. He did that once, but by that time that happened, Lani had woken up after falling asleep.
Yes. Fortunately, I have advantage on will saves.
Okay, so yes.
As I am heading, I'm agitated as all hell. So if you want me to roll, I can roll a disadvantage. Do I notice anything? Do I see anyone that looks like it might be a good person to talk to? Do I see any indication of an underground? Do I see any... Remembering that Seika is a constant antenna for information.
As you're walking out, I'm going to give you a perception roll with disadvantage because you're so agitated.
Wisdom or no, I'm wisdom. It has to be. God damn it.
It's one of the few times you're completely discombobulated over everything that's going on. You have so much intel to tell.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot happening.
When I
And brain is not processing
when I
properly.
leave, I'll be more likely to just make friends with, particularly the guards, people who spend time with the king, and just try and sound them out as to what is their daily life like.
I don't need to roll my specialties because they are listening and invisible objects. And that is not going to work. Do I have... But I do have rank 4, so I roll... What does rank 4 mean?
So when he says we can go and get some food before we respond and that, does he send us to a particular room?
Well, people have
Advantage
spoken
for
up
special
before I
actions.
could get that far.
Yep.
And I'm letting them act before I continue.
Yeah, okay. So I'll
I rolled
only
a
kind
2,
of
I noticed
act
nothing.
within-
Yeah,
The storyline.
you said. Okay, so what was that?
I rolled a 2, I noticed nothing. I am...
Okay, so yes, you notice you're in the forest before you realize what is happening.
You need the fortunate feat.
Oh, no, I would have not wasted that on this. I can do things later, I just need space.
Yeah.
You're
got
not
it.
exactly sure which way you're walking, but you're not in that tower anymore and you feel better for it.
I'm in a forest, I'm happy, this is home.
And then you get that sense of alien forest. Because all the trees are precisely placed.
Oh god.
Yes, literally.
It's a managed forest.
It's a
What does
forest
that
where
mean?
each tree is equally spaced from each other in a straight line.
It's like
Is that a
Literal-
bad thing or a good thing? Or
It's
nothing.
from a higher perspective. It's the ideal nature, where nature is what you make it.
Yeah.
From every other else perspective, it's abhorrent because you're telling nature how to act and not letting nature be nature.
So,
It's a manufactured garden, not just a guided garden.
so
Orchid.
So as
Basically.
Calcrick sees it, yes, it's an orchard or it's someone with OCD and they've made an orchard.
Yeah.
my homeland, despite the fact that I don't go there often, is so overgrown and so dense. It is almost more jungle than forest.
And
Like,
there
that's
is
the feeling of
there
it.
is no ground cover between the trees. It's all lightly cut.
It's a garden.
Can I see a particularly big tree
Well, there's
where
lots
it looks like if I get up in there, I won't be able to see anything?
of, all these trees have communities in them.
Okay.
There's
is
not a
there-
tree you can see in any direction that doesn't
So it's
have.
heavily
This is a
populated
forest, it's a
despite the
community.
loss of life.
I was
Yes.
gonna say, it probably looks like one of those new build communities where every house looks exactly the same.
So it looks like Coombs where you got like concrete blocks
And I
that people live in.
can't. There is nowhere that it looks like that I can hide.
No.
Oh god.
Your worst nightmare.
I am breaking down. Is anyone near me? Because I am
No.
breaking down.
No, you walked off on
away.
them. So, moving back to Calcrix.
You're going
If
to
she's
hide
run
behind
out agitated,
in front of a tree and go.
Okay.
and I will take flight to keep up with her. If I need to.
Okay, so having seen her rush out, by the time you get outside, you're able to leap off the walkway and follow. And I will say you land by her as they move on to the others to give them a chance, so it takes you a while to get there. All good. So, after you see Calcrick dash off, the guard comes up to you and says, "Our food is this way if you'll follow," and just turns and walks away before you have a chance to say anything.
That's fine.
Just keeping in tact with how the High Elves even treating the people that have asked for help.
Yeah. Fuck 'em. Right.
Yeah,
We go in his
basically.
direction.
Okay.
Or at least I go in his direction and say, come on, food. After that lot, we need it. Plus the loo. That would be nice.
Okay, so
Especially the coffee.
you are taking probably about 3 flights down
Mm-hmm.
and into what looks to be a rather spacious inn that has been set aside for you with piles of mainly meats,
Okay.
which you think is partly an insult in your direction.
I'm feeling you got
Especially towards
demoted
elves,
to.
yeah.
Deal with it. I've lived around humans.
Yes.
I think that's
And you think that's
intensely
part?
bullying.
You think that's part of the insult?
Is that you're more human than
Yeah.
elf, so here have all the human meat.
Yeah.
I've just. No, I just
you're not really an elf, therefore you'll eat meat.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, here's the solution for this one.
They're saying your diet is so
No,
unrefined.
no, no. Going by the wording of fabricate, I start with ingredients and finish with what I'm after. And if I'm doing food, I'm basically turning supply into supply. So I can turn this into a vegetarian meal, and it will be an actual vegetarian meal once I'm done.
Yeah.
So give me 10 minutes, if you don't mind.
But are you taking all the food?
No,
Just a section for you.
just a section for me.
Okay.
A section for those who want vegetables.
If anyone,
Cowbricks would like veggies.
yes, if anyone wishes to join me in a vegetarian meal, I will make that part of the meal
She's
that way.
not entirely vegetarian, but
Nah,
she
Yeah.
likes greens.
Yes, you are going, oh, flesh.
I would be too, but
I was gonna say
I'm having a breakdown.
Lonnie is a lot like Kesley in that she likes meat.
Yes.
And the way the food is prepared is how you've
Also
always
human.
imagined orcs would prepare their food.
Yes, so
Not
I'm turning,
opposed to this.
So basically,
Yeah.
big chunks of meat on the
Just
bone,
Spit roast.
and
And heat it up.
each served on a plate like that.
Which is not the
With
elven
no
way, and we
sauce.
know it.
Yes.
or possibly got chili on it or something.
This is hardcore insult,
Mm.
and I am all here for it.
Yep.
Well, hey, they're catering for the humans of the group,
Yeah. So,
and to be perfectly honest, from Luar's perspective, they probably don't know better.
yeah.
I was going to say,
And-
maybe
well,
Lul
probably
should
a
educate
good reason
them
I'm not in
diplomatically.
I think
Yeah.
And
it's your
while it is very insulting, it's also understandable
Some of my
that
new
this is probably as
things
close
I
as they
can
come to
Yeah.
paying attention to anyone other than a high elf.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They are catering to someone who's not a high elf in the process of insulting said high elf. At least they've thought a little bit about it, even if it's in the wrong direction. That's fine. I will make us an appropriate elven style vegetarian meal. There will still be some meat in it.
You're turning your food up, you're turning your nose up at what they've offered.
No, I'm just
Repurposing.
repurposing it slightly. And if you
Okay,
wish
so
to, that's fine.
you're not eating what they've offered, you're going to make your own.
He's making what they've offered into what he wants.
Yes, I'm using the food that they've offered in a way that's appropriate for us,
And for a high elf.
and particularly a high elf. So, you can eat what you like. I'll add whatever to what I'm doing, and I can flavour it for you as well, because it's probably not very flavoured, or it's horribly flavoured.
Generally, he's happy to eat what we provided.
Yep, that's fine.
From Dreadnought Mars' perspective, the meat tastes like bison.
Well, that's fair.
But not a bison he's familiar with.
Mm.
You're not far from where giant bison roam. And they are said to roam the forest.
First, I mean, I think that
Forest
doesn't
indoors.
need to eat at all, but he will eat if it's been provided.
Yes, forest but not woods, necessarily.
Funny.
It's not a
because,
forest.
No,
He
forest
tries
is
to
actually
provide
managed with-
Drachnima with
Sure,
food,
or
and
they
he
can-
refuses
He
to
has
do
underground
that.
factory.
It is explicit.
So, I'm just going to duck to the bathroom.
Yeah.
He meant like his eat.
It's wooded forest but not woods.
That's a
Forest
debate
has
for
undergrowth
another
and
day.
difference.
Forest is managed land. The fact it's got trees is
That
insignificant.
made no secret in his
So it's
revolted with it.
it's not wooded.
As I said, that's a debate for another day.
Sorry, it's treed forest.
Mm.
And this is actually even further than forest. This is a garden.
It's an orchid.
It's an orchard of people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
People fruit.
Yes. So, Calcrix and I have an elven style meal made out of an elven supplied meal.
Well, Calcrix
I
is
don't see the
currently. You're
Yeah,
following.
I followed him, but
Yeah.
Lul will have
Will
eaten
know
with
that-
Calcrix
Yeah.
enough to know that Calcrix likes to eat fresh plant life, and
Yeah. Well, considering dragons can eat basically anything.
well,
live on the
Bahamut
road.
actually his favourite
You eat
meal
what's around.
is new grass covered in morning dew.
Sure. That's
So
fair.
Calcrix has
I can
understood that dragons don't have to eat meat, and they actually don't necessarily eat just humans and
Yep.
other things. They can have a
Yep.
pretty wide variety. So she likes to try everything.
Yeah. Some write-ups of D&D dragons include them eating stone.
Mm.
As long as it's something that can be eaten
Mm.
conceptually, they can obtain sustenance from
Well,
it.
some animals to
Uh,
process plant
yeah.
life do eat stone.
Yeah.
Well,
Or birds.
another one of
So-
Bahamut's meals is actually cloud mist.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's
So-
going even further for the more magical types.
Mm.
But so you'll get grass
Mm.
with fresh
She likes
dew on
veggies.
it.
She
And-
likes.
Yeah,
She
but,
likes
yeah, but
vegetables.
you're going to have grass with dew on it as part of that.
And while Lowell is eating, he realizes that the king is not expecting you back until the next morning, because his concept of non-high elves is they need to have a long time to eat them.
We are due a long rest.
So, yeah, we do a long rest.
We,
but we've also got some time to do things that are other than talking to the king.
yeah, we want to
If we wish
investigate.
to. Yes.
And so his version of hasty is talk to you the next morning.
Yeah.
I think so
Oh,
his
right,
idea
right.
that, oh wow, they take a long time to eat. I don't think it's necessarily like their conception of like, wow, they're taking forever. I think it's realistically it's the other people who are just like, man, I really don't want to go back and talk to that guy. Let's just
Yeah.
pretend we're taking a little extra longer.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there is bed chambers associated with the inn, all made up and waiting for people.
Yeah, yeah.
So apparently, he's used to dealing with people this way.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if I was calmer, that would be great. But
Yeah.
there was no way she was calm in that moment.
Oh, of course not.
So around this time, Calcrix catches up with Seika in her form.
If I see her break down, I will change into large form and comfort her.
Yeah.
Wrap myself around her protectively so she feels safe.
You
Cut
just,
off out the sensory things that she doesn't want.
you just feel me like melt. Yeah, like I cannot speak. I cannot do anything. I am just.
You're in this forest that is not a forest.
It's not a forest. I'm in the wrong form. I've been talked at for 10 hours by a guy who is obviously lying, and I can't do anything about it. And I
Drachnima?
just want to explode, and I can't. And I just calm, quiet, sensory.
So Drachnima will be shocked because Calcrix doesn't talk. She just literally changes up to a size big enough to just completely envelop you and cut you off from all of the input and give you privacy to change if you want to change.
Oh, I need 8 hours to do that.
And
well, 4 hours.
She can sit there for 4 hours. No one's moving
No.
a dragon
She'll
her
calm
size
down.
unless
No.
she wants to.
She'll calm
And
down
one of the
enough
few
in a
times
minute.
you feel comfort from Abe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, gold.
That probably pulls me out enough to go,
Yeah.
okay,
The
do we
And you
have
actually feel
somewhere we can
comfortable.
be?
The university's weird when that's.
I think the others have gone to get food. We will go back and find them. I have a feeling they're probably somewhere in like an eating hall or something like that, because the boring man mentioned food.
That sounds wonderful.
And you hear a small voice saying, Calcrick's fix.
Calcrix will fix.
Eep said that, didn't
Yes.
Yeah.
Eep said my name. Aww. Eep said my name. Calcrick starts to cry now. But in that kind of like proud, sort of happy way, sort of, you said my name!
I apologize that you have seen me in this way. I am not often in this way. And I hate to ask any further imposition on you, but is there a chance you could take me there?
And you hear a little voice going, Calcrick's fix.
Yep. I will not just fly you there, but if any more boring people try to interact with you, Calcrix will deal with them.
I like Calcrix describing him as the boring man.
Tedious man.
Yes.
If the tedious man keeps being tedious, Calcrix is going to have a diplomatic clash with him. But for now, she will escort you safely back to where we last saw you. She will look at the guards and go, "Where are my people?"
Well, you can tell where they are because you can see Druzzle standing outside waving to you
Okay, well then I'll go directly to that area.
as he's patting his horse.
And I will also say to Seika, do you wish to change
He's not feeding him.
after your food? And if you need privacy to do that, I'm
Do I
happy
see-
to provide it.
Can I see the bedrooms? Can I see?
You can see the bedrooms,
Does it
and
look
you
like
hear
there are no-
Druzzle telling his horse to guard as he walks inside.
There are no guards. There are no.
Yeah, so you'll have privacy.
I say thank you and walk into a
Horse will
room
be
and
fine.
shut the door.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like we've somewhat, I'm sure Seika has picked this up, we've somewhat told her that, like, look, whatever happens with the horse, you don't want to get in the wrong end of horse, so if Drazzle's telling horse to guard, then we're safe.
Oh yeah, I think I picked that up from Drazzle.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, at the
And you
moment
hear a big
I
thump
don't.
as horse sits against the door.
I can't. Like I want to acknowledge, and I like on a part of me
Nope.
acknowledges it does the intake of what is here
Yeah.
and acknowledges everything, and I just
I
go.
think you just need to,
Yep.
and shut down and reset.
I don't even report yet. I
As you
just
just collapse into the bed.
trance, and the next time you see me, I will be in shit sorrow form.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming everyone else eats and sort of has this whole, okay, we've just been in the Elven City, we've flown so fast it's not funny, we're in another Elven City that treats us like crap. But asking us for help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lana is just, like, laughing to herself, and just like, Balls are ridiculous sometimes. This is hilarious. And so it's the processing everything that's going on while also just like realizing all of this is what puts the balance of the world. And so that's kind of dissociation of trying not to freak out that it's all of this pettiness of whatever the heck the Brewing Man's talking about is the one thing that is stopping stopping us from defeating the Master, and like we gotta deal with this nonsense.
Yeah.
And that is just the irony of the world. And so Lonnie's trying not to think about it.
Yeah, but we are beating up one undead guy to
You don't have to beat him up, you just have to convince him not to attack.
Well,
We
there's
just
that.
had to tell him to stop this war. Oh,
I
yeah.
can be really persuasive.
Yeah,
Especially with Lonnie
Caprix
around.
also has connections.
And you've also learnt that it
As I said,
is
I'm good with that when I'm not breaking down.
Calcrix's sister who is behind it all.
Yes, we
Yes.
heard that he is working with Calcrix's sister, who we just
Yeah.
learned about. So.
Yes.
the Lady of Vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
If
Which means she probably has a beef against Wendell.
Lani's having
Not
trouble
surprised.
processing, and Calcrix can see that this has been hard on everyone.
Yes.
She'll do a few cute little magic tricks to keep it entertain her and keep her mind off it. And have a conversation of similar to what you're like, you know, recognizing the irony and going, I know, right?
It was like, yeah. It was like, this is ridiculous. So,
And she's like, you know, I'm part of me wants to like put them in their place on etiquette and bring like 50,000 dragons down here to kind of show them that if they really want to be sorry, just being impolite to people in general and being snooty is not going to pay off. Honey rather than, you know, vinegar type deal. But then another part is be like, I don't have the time for this stuff. I've got more important things to do.
exactly.
Just
Save the world.
Skip over it and just get moving on.
Yep. Like, at some point, part of the world is, you just kind of have to accept that.
And she's like, I'm 12 and this
Yes.
old elf doesn't get that shit.
And you sort of see in the background that Druzzle unrolls a campfire in the middle of some chairs. And then curls up on one of the chairs. Most of the elves don't have fires up in their trees.
Yeah.
Going to sit
magical
next to
cookies
that
for.
campfire and toast marshmallows.
So this is Druzzle's way of going, screw you.
Yes.
And then we'll keep everyone up by like an extra 5 minutes by Calcrix going, eat! And then eat going, Calcrix, eat! Calcrix, eat!
Oh, God.
Calcrix.
This happens 48 times.
Just for 5 minutes while they're toasting marshmallows.
That's about 48 times.
And,
Before they go to sleep.
and in the middle of all that, you hear Druzzle snoring away. He rarely goes to sleep before everyone else.
Yeah.
Mm.
So whatever's happened, you think he's exhausted.
I will
Yeah.
I will take a blanket and put it
Which is
over Draz and I'll
unusual.
make sure that he's warm.
So you feel a lot of people have taken an emotional blow, dealing with everything.
Yes.
It's a lot.
And some of you are numb just from what happened in the Elven community before coming here. And then you got dealt with the mind numbiness of the request for help.
As tired as
A
she
long rest
is,
is a good idea.
Calcrix will set up her shrine.
Mm.
She will say her things to her gods, and she will do a little ceremony for the Librarian.
Mm-hmm.
And she will take some detailed notes and do some pictures in her journal where she remembers them, so that she keeps it's all fresh in her mind. So she's got it down as accurately as she can, so that she doesn't forget that experience.
Okay, so when Calcrix wakes up, she does see that there is a blue stone matching the eyes of the Librarian.
Okay. Just
Just gives you a hint of memory of him.
okay. She will put that in her pouch that she keeps her precious stones in. She only keeps her very, very sentimental ones, like the stones that Zal gave her for her birthday, that kind of thing.
I did notice the birthday in the description in your inventory. It says birthday present.
I got a bunch of birthday presents. I think that was like my 10th birthday.
Mm.
I can't remember which birthday it was, but it was a really big one because all of the university in, was it Glantry? Attended, and like all of the princes gave me gifts. And Calcrix is like, I don't understand why I'm getting gifts. And then she finds out later that the etiquette is you give the dragon gifts. She's like, oh.
And it was a special occasion for the dragon, so special people showed up.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, this is great, I get gifts.
Yeah.
Sorry, just thinking about another character. One of my other character from Glantry.
Mm.
I don't know how you guys all have these backup characters. I've only got like the
She
characters
probably
I
would have
have
been
now.
there.
Yes.
She would have been there. You
Where?
would have met one of my characters
Mm.
for your
Where?
birthday.
Oh, okay, yep, okay, yeah. Well, yeah.
So she was in Galantry City.
Yeah, but
I might
my
have
character
to figure
would've
out if I can
political
remember that.
stuff, and
Mm.
she hasn't. The character I'm talking about has no connection to any of the other characters.
In,
But
in which case, you would have found out that the princes were required to attend, and you don't know who can actually make a prince attend something, because they're the rulers of the country, and someone made them attend.
Right.
so yeah, you would have met my barbarian and her boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Here it is.
I'm gonna have to write that down in my book.
I can give you her name later.
I will,
And
I will
considering
accept
the princes pretty much thumb their nose at everyone telling them what to do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why it's interesting.
that. It was a big party. Everybody talked to me.
including the headmaster of the School of Magic, who's one of the princes,
Who taught me some things, which is why I've got some of the magical skills
who
I've got
Lani
now.
remembers because Lani actually saved him in the past.
At some point.
You know how you went back to Francia?
Oh.
The person you saved, that was him. He grew up to be the headmaster.
Oh, we know people in
Gotcha.
common without knowing people in common.
Yeah.
We need to talk
So
about
we-
these
so
things more
we-
often.
No, like
We met him.
Dracula, Luel,
We
and I have
saved
met him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Calcric says,
And-
and Zal, and
Not great to the rest of his family.
Siobhan.
Yeah, well,
Isn't it always interesting when you're just like, oh yeah, no, I totally know that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And Luel and Dracnamar went out on a quest to Alphatia to be a broker between Galantry and Alphatia,
yeah.
which is how they ended up going back in time. And how you joined them.
And that's how I ended up joining them. Drazzle brought me along to help, quote unquote.
Yes.
Yes.
Drazzle does that a lot.
Yes.
Well,
So
he,
when I wake up in the morning, I make Drazzle a special hot chocolate mocha coffee thing with.
well, you notice he's still asleep.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be ready for him when he wakes up.
He's gonna have to do it again before Friday's group. It's gonna be particularly interesting with
Why
that
is Drazzle
character.
sleeping so much?
Normally he's just sitting in the background writing.
Yeah. It's weird to see Drazzle sleeping.
They would
Not
also
uncommon when on night watch,
Mm.
but uncommon to see him go to bed before everybody else and still be sleeping.
And
Yeah.
most of the time he's watching while everyone else is on watch.
Exactly.
Mm.
So
Very few people see him sleep.
Yeah.
It's because he put horse on guard. That's what I'm putting it up to.
I was gonna say that's probably one of the reasons he put Horse on guard. He needed to sleep.
yeah, I think I'm putting
Wait.
it into an emotional,
Like
like as
how
much as he
elves
dislikes
only
the
need to sleep,
librarian.
Every for
Well,
4
definitely,
hours a
it's
day.
when
Does
he's
Drazzle
actually
need to
an
sleep
actual
once every
sleep.
4 years?
You have no idea because you've never seen him sleep.
Speaking of elf trances,
And what was that, Jeremy?
Okay, Dracula will check on him, just confirm that he's in natural sleep and that he's otherwise perfectly healthy and okay.
He seems healthy. He's snoring away.
Right.
I think every member of the party is probably gonna at some point check on Drazzle because we do care for him.
Mm.
And you see, even when he's snarky with people, he has a reason.
Yes.
Which surprised most of you because you were thinking he was only snarky because they used his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was for the
He had
greater good.
He could have been a bit more nice about it, but hey, it's Drazzle and yeah, snarky.
I was gonna say this is as nice
Yeah.
as he was required to be.
Yeah. The extent he took it to, there was a good reason for it.
But he was also respectful at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was good at the end.
Yeah. Well, he eventually forgave him,
Yeah.
but the 700 years, right?
I feel like that might have been a little
Seems
bit of
appropriate
Calcric's
for a dragon.
influence
Probably.
Of Calcric saying like it's not good to hold on to grudges.
So speaking of trances,
Mm-hmm.
Seika wakes up, takes a breath, does her sending ritual, and reports to Satoshi.
Mm-hmm.
She reports about the librarian
Mm-hmm.
and the leadership change. She reports about the Rakasta, with the full belief that what she was in was magic, not tech, and everything she saw there. She reports about letting loose with everything she wanted to say about the Wizard King.
Mm-hmm.
She reports about where they are, what they're doing. She says they're talking about green stones. We're in an area, like she remembers that we went to this area and we're going back to there, connecting it to, which should, like, saying that it might be an idea to report back to Count Zegi. And she is dealing as best as she can at the moment, but is very open and, of course, will be able to function completely without instruction or whatever, but is happy to be guided in this.
Okay, so you do get a response back that he is very saddened to hear of the passing of the Librarian. A worthy adversary in his mind, having spoken to him on numerous occasions, never in the library. He's sorry to hear that you had to speak to the other king. He only refers to him as the other king. Never by the title he wants to be called, and never used his name.
I don't think that.
Well, it's good you talked about. Sorry, you had to talk to this other guy.
Yes.
How should
And it's
happy
king in
to
lowercase,
suggest
not king
names.
in uppercase.
I like it.
The boring guy.
Yeah.
The poor guy.
He's the king. It's just a description.
Yes.
The other king in no caps.
Yes. I will inform Redring of what we're up to.
And he has spoken to his boss and gotten back they are very interested in you completing this quest. Though if you do find the gem, report it lost. They will.
Oh, really? He didn't say give it to the dragon?
No.
Of course not.
I'm
Yeah.
teasing.
Yes. Oops, I've dropped
Give it to the other dragon.
Yeah. Oops, I dropped it in my bag.
And he will
It's lost now.
make arrangements to collect it.
It's actually better that Calcus doesn't collect anymore because you don't want the five of them together.
I was gonna say, isn't it a little bit dangerous that Calcris? Well, I mean,
Well,
player talk is
two's
dangerous.
enough.
Calcris has two.
Calcris has learned that it was created by a vampire lord.
Oh.
That's sick.
And
About the
Calcris
fact
has also
that-
learnt that her father is related to the vampire god. I believe.
Vampire god? Oh.
Well, it's a dark Fey lord.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
that they all have life-giving properties when separate.
But only when separate.
No one knows what happens when they get them together because they were stolen the moment he made them.
Life steal.
And that's the god we were talking about before.
Well, he's not technically a god, he's just a dark
No,
Fey lord.
the
Oh, Erendil was one of the ones who stole them.
Yeah.
is that Mike?
Yes.
No, we were talking about the other one, the entropic god.
There are Marwoden would probably also have stolen them as well.
The diplomacy one.
Yep, that's Marwoden.
Yeah.
Everybody would have wanted to steal them.
Oh, yeah.
So
But he's
who?
in a good position.
Marbleton?
Marwoden.
Marwooden.
Yep, God of Crossroads and Diplomacy.
Oh, okay.
He
Why
was-
was he still these?
Because he didn't want what was going to happen if they were activated.
He was
Okay.
the other god I was thinking about, but he's not in the Elven Pantheon, and Yeah.
Many, there's only one god who would have activated them had he taken them, and that is Alphax, because he likes things to go boom.
Yeah.
Calcris doesn't like things to go boom.
I don't think so.
He has
Unless
he has
they're
no
powerful.
subtlety. The word
that
subtlety to him
that's
is
not the T-Rex,
like a
though, is it?
bludgeon. What
No,
is it?
that was
his
a
car.
car. Yeah.
Yeah.
So every other god looks at this one god with horror because he's the one god who would just hit something. It's like you need to talk to it. Smack, smack. No use words. Smack,
Why the hell
smack.
hasn't Cheval converted
Name
over
my
to
axe
him?
words.
Because he uses his followers as clubs as well. He doesn't actually look after anything.
Is that the guy who's trying to convert everyone to Orcus?
No, that's
Okay.
Anton. No,
Yeah.
Cheval's the one that, when she comes across a bunch of teenage Vikings, she sucks their souls out and turns them all into stone.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
That's why I'm not bringing Hildren to that campaign, because there are too many people there that would
Do bad things.
one killed her cousin, the
Use
other
them as
one is
food.
following the god that she's actively hunting.
Yes, that doesn't make
Well, not
sense.
following, but converting
Right.
people to the god that she is
Talking
actively
about
hunting.
converting them. Hasn't done so
Mm.
yet. Okay, so yes. In the morning you find that there is more food out on the table, not that anyone seemed to make it into the inn. And apparently the door's not opening. Because there's a Drake singing against it.
The food that's appeared on the tables, is it the same food as the previous night, or
Yep.
does it look like it's been... So it's magically supplied.
Mm-hmm.
So they have...
Calcrix is gonna ask Horse to move so that she can go out the door, please.
So Seika comes out, actually sees the food this time, turns to Llewell and said, "Really?
I can.
And I can't kill this guy.
Yet.
I'll take the yet."
You do get a grumbling from the Drake as if it's understanding but not wanting to move.
I just want to put my head out the door for 2 seconds. I promise not to let anyone in. And if I do accidentally let someone in, unless Drazzle says so, you can eat them.
Okay, so as the door opens, you hear Drizzle coughing and waking up.
I will duck out the door and close it really quickly so that nobody can come in. Is there anyone about?
There are a couple of people who are looking at Horse with horror, with their arms up.
I will ask if I can get someone to come and help. It seems that there's only been meat provided, and Calcrix eats vegetables and would like to have some, please.
They sort of look
She
at you.
refers to herself in the third person.
I can do this morning what I did last night.
Oh,
I'm
I
making
know.
a pointed reason.
Oh,
She's
so
like,
if
making a
someone's
point.
making a point.
Okay.
A
if you wanna
polite point.
If
But
you
a
want to make a
point.
point, then I can't do a thing. Go for it.
So she just asks if there's some fresh fruit and vegetables, please.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay,
Just making a
they say that they can bring some, but they don't believe they can get it to the door.
I will wait so that you can safely deliver the food, and I will request that the owner of the horse here takes him to somewhere safe. I will arrange for Horse to move.
Okay, they agree
Calcrix will
to.
arrange for
They agree to get you some fruit and vegetable.
Okay. So I'll go in and once Drazzle is slightly awake, I'll explain to Drazzle that I've asked for some fresh fruit and vegetables. And could Horse please guard from the inside and not eat anyone, please.
He pauses for a moment and rather weakly says, "Horse not good inside."
Horse can be done guarding.
I make sure I pass him the special drink that's got the healing stuff in it to help him strengthen up. And I'm like, where is Horse safest?
On guard.
Okay, and he's on cart now.
No, guarding.
Okay. Does he
Does that
need to
mean
guard, or can we? Oh no, Drazzle's weak. Look, I'm just gonna wait for the people to come back, and I'll take the food in myself.
Drazzle just pats you weakly on the arm
Yeah,
and curls up and goes back to sleep.
we'll go back and tell Horse that Drazzle has given me permission to receive food and bring it in, and he's not allowed to eat anyone as long as they're not doing anything dangerous.
Lottie's silently observing this and being like, Lottie's never seen Drazzle like this before, so she's just going to respectfully ask Calcrix to explain later.
Seeing
Yeah, that's fine.
Drazzle being weak, Seika deliberately puts herself between Drazzle and the door, preferably near a shadow of some sort, pulls out her daggers, and starts sharpening them.
And I'm sure the others feel very intimidated by the sound of sharpening blades in darkness.
Yeah, no, like, I've got my cloak on. Like, even if you know I'm there, you can hardly see me.
Okay, so when you stick your head back outside, you
everybody
notice
gets
that
the
Horse's illusion has gone.
Oh, so
Ooh.
Horse is a
Oh.
Drake.
Horse looks at the Drake. Oh.
I don't know that this is a good thing. I think Drazzle's
Indicates Drazzle dropped it.
Drazzle's very weak. Does one of us have illusion. Oh, could we cast illusion on it?
Well, dragons are respected here, so this is one of the few places that they would
You could
respect
get
you.
away with it.
Okay, well, I'll just make a note of that.
Yeah.
And when they bring the fruit and vegetables, I will feed horse an apple because I always do. He seems to like them.
You
Have
do
the elves
notice
react to see
that
the drake.
the drake's scales are all sapphire blue.
I give horse a good scratching under the chin, where it's hardest for him to get to.
Because last you knew he was just a pale blue. And you notice he does actually now have wings.
I say
He's
to
definitely getting older.
I say, horse, you've upgraded. You've done well. How do you feel with the wings? Have you flown yet?
He stretches his wings out, and they are really immense wings. Basically designed for carrying something more than just his weight.
You are.
So you think he could literally pull the cart along?
Fly a kite.
You are a very handsome, good-looking drake.
And
I'm very impressed.
he purrs along happily.
Mm-hmm.
With the only way a big dragon can purr.
I give him all the apples except one, which I'm going to save for Drazzle.
How big is he when the illusion drops?
Illusion drops here is a huge size.
Okay, cool. The corridor can accommodate that?
Well, he pretty much takes up most of the space.
Okay.
And then when he sits up against the door, well, people can go around him. Which is why they've been looking at him in horror, because he's been tormenting everyone trying to walk past him.
Yeah. Not that Seika can see any of this, just my curiosity.
Yeah.
I will also report back, like, there'll be a excited Caltrix,
explains
like,
a lot of
sticking a
things.
head around the door and going, Lonnie! You should come and see, look at Horse! He's got wings! And he's pretty!
I'll go look.
And so,
I'll take a look at
Horse has actually got more mass than Caltrix now.
Oh, yeah. If you can go up to
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Because I think the largest I can go up to is 2 up from
You're
large.
Well, large next step is huge, but you've got to use magic to get
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I can do huge and
And then the next step up.
Is that giant or gargantuan?
Gargantuan.
I only use it when I'm like
Yeah.
in
It
the
used
Isle
to
of
be-
Dread and
Yeah.
there's
It used to be
other
colossal
dinosaurs.
beyond gargantuan, but they simplified.
But there's also now Titanic above that.
In addition
I mean,
to
it's pretty cool. With
Like the Turesk
goes
is
down
not
to-
just a scale to everyone else, that
Yes.
they are like an island.
so he is huge,
Yes.
and so I was like, wow, Horse, you look so pretty.
I know that Lou was a draconologist, so
Yeah.
you know I'll also call his attention to it, and I'm not
Yeah.
sure whether or not Draknumber will be interested because you know he used to be a person and now he's a dragon, and he was somewhat unwilling to do one,
Yeah.
but now he seems to have accepted the other. But I'll tell him anyway, just in case he might be interested.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested. Give him a scratch. Give him a bone or something.
And you do see Drazzle's cart parked out next to him. So you're not sure if he's guarding just the door or the door and the cart.
I would say both.
Both.
I was like,
Yeah.
Since you're announcing it to the room, you hear this quiet, almost whisper say, make sure you draw it later.
Mm-hmm.
Draw.
The drake.
Ah, yeah, no, he'll be drawn
Excellent.
from many
Seika wants to
angles.
see it. Seika wants to see the drake, but he's not moving.
Mm-hmm.
I will do a quick sketch just for you because you're currently self-restricted to this area, it seems.
Yes.
A little look around the corner and shoot, and there's an illusion of the thing.
Out of the breakfast things, I'll
Appreciative.
take aside
You-
the
you
best
sort of feel it.
emojis.
With Calgary
I will
next to
put
it,
them in a
scale.
little sort of.
You get a minor illusion of
put them next to Drazzle.
And you also notice with the cart that the locks have fallen off the back of the gate.
The locks have fallen off.
Yeah.
This doesn't
That's-
sound like a good thing.
No, it doesn't. That's starting to get a little bit beyond just worrying.
I'm confident that Horse will guard the car, but I am worried about those locks being missing. But I
Well, they're
don't
not
wanna-
missing, they're on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, I will collect the broken locks Can I see any sign that anything has left the cart?
Nothing you've seen has left the cart because normally the ground is blackened around it when something does.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, are the locks broken or unlocked?
Unlocked.
Right.
The locks have no mechanism to lock or unlock.
Yeah.
Oh.
They just
But
click.
they're not broken open.
They're not
just
broken
like-
open.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
collect them.
So,
Mm.
I might
lots off, illusion dropped, Drazzle sleeping.
Mhm.
This is when Lonnie, like, straight up asked Calcrix, like, what's going on? This doesn't seem normal.
It's not
Very
normal.
much not normal. I haven't seen the locks come off at all.
You've seen him take them off.
I've seen.
But
him
you've never
take them
seen
off
him
and-
how he takes them off.
Yeah.
Once I notice that the locks are off, I will, after I drop the food in for Drazzle, I will go back outside and sit with the cart
Mm-hmm.
because those locks are off. I don't know why they're off. I'm not waking up Drazzle to find out.
Mm.
This has not happened without Drazzle doing it intentionally before.
I am going to have a look at Drazzle to see if he needs any medical attention because he may.
I'm not a
He
healer.
doesn't
am I?
appear to be.
Wrong
Yeah.
character.
I'm several amounts of healer.
Looking at him,
That's why I'm just sitting there.
his gemstone skin looks very less reflective than it normally does.
Yeah, I'm very
Okay,
worried
so
about
he's
him.
definitely ill.
So, there's something in the power here that's affecting him?
Or he's done something recently that has
Mm.
drained him.
Okay.
Which wasn't the same from when he was at the community.
Mm.
Yeah.
But whatever happened there, you think has left him exhausted.
Yeah, so he's just drained from
So-
that amount of power that he...
Yeah. So if I
Yes,
do the
that-
chunkier version of restoration, that will give him at least one level back. One level of strain or exhaustion.
You could do that.
I will.
And from Lenny's perspective, you think he's rebound time a number of times.
Yeah, it seems
He
like...
definitely needs
Seems
to-
like we messed up a couple times. No, it seems
Yeah.
like he was affecting a lot of things a couple times.
Yeah.
So he's exhausted from time.
Yeah, I think giving him at least one level of exhaustion.
Getting
back
it
might be a really
to
good
this
idea.
specific timeline, I'm sure, was a lot
Yeah.
of work.
Mm.
So that's probably where he's at.
Yeah.
Well, you think he may not have seen the Keeper in some of the other timelines.
Oh.
And then that made a paradox, and then
Mm.
he had to fight that paradox, and that's the whole thing. And that's
Yeah.
what Lonnie is trying to avoid at all costs.
How do you fight a paradox? Do you?
You've got to make whatever caused the paradox no longer be a paradox.
Yeah.
I'll get you to explain that to me in full later.
You've got to fix it.
Yes, but
And that's what-
Calcrix is now worried about the idea that Eep has said her name, but she's also said Calcrix Fix.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very... She didn't just say Calcrix.
Calcrix fix.
Calcrix Fix.
Yeah.
So she's just like, what am I fixing exactly? It's got to have something to do with those green gemstones, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as we are sitting on close to 11 at this stage, would you like to add anything to finish up for the night as you realize Drazzle may have overextended himself?
I think we're all going to
Yeah.
be on protective level.
Yeah.
Since they can fit a huge horse here, Calcrix is going to at least stay at her level. Like at least large. Although she's considering going up to huge herself.
Yeah.
Well, you're sure no one will get anywhere near the cart with horse there.
I'm sure, but
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
take any chances.
Well, you could just hear horse being angry and you'll know someone's trying.
If I upcast
Mhm.
the ritual for restoration beyond what's needed to get exhaustion back, does he get more than one? I can't remember the effect.
It
of
can do
overcasting.
more than that.
Yeah.
Hang on, I've got it printed for Hildred.
Yeah. I'll have a look.
Lonnie will work with Calcrix to give Drazzle a recovery
I've got-
snack kit.
Yeah, I've got the spell listy here.
I was
no, we
gonna say we could probably help with everybody
Because Lonnie's reset the timeline once, and
Lesser
she
restoration is
was
what level?
exhausted by that, so she can only imagine doing it multiple
3, I
times,
think.
fighting a paradox. It would
I'm
feel.
just going up there.
Okay, so the greater restoration is what gets
I
rid
will
of
ask you
fatigue
all
and
about
strife.
that.
That's
Doesn't say
right.
anything about upcasting from great, like the higher
And you
levels.
believe that he is suffering from both
So
Right.
he's suffering from.
So
fatigue and strife.
So you could
Yeah.
cast it multiple
So
times, but not.
That's
That's a 5th level spell.
cast it as a 5th level,
And
and
each
it's not upcastable. Yeah,
and
so
it uses 100 gold each time.
diamond dust every time.
Oh, I would totally give that
well,
to you.
Yeah,
Calcrix just reaches into her bag and pulls out her diamond dust pouch, which is
Yeah.
like this big and fat,
which
and
is
just
done
hands it
specifically
to-
for this purpose.
and just hands it to Luel on his
Okay.
way past
Okay.
towards Drazzle.
Takes out like 2 teaspoons of it and hands it back.
You
Thank
can
you.
take out as much as
Yeah.
you need.
Yeah.
She'll spend it on any party
Yeah,
member she needs.
and he'll spend the time. 1 level of each. If he needs more, I'll do a 3rd one. Probably more the strife, more than exhaustion, depending on how bad he is.
Well, you think
I
he
am-
has about
Yeah.
5 levels of each.
Wow.
you,
Okay, 2 of each then.
So he's very
I'll go
much
the-
at his limit.
Right.
kind
So
of
yes.
Dracula
Yeah.
will use a found divinity to
Yeah.
remove a level of strife.
I was
Cool.
going to say,
Very
I'm
useful.
pretty sure Drachnima's kind of a cleric now, and a bit of a failed rogue.
Dracula is Dracula the type of would Dracula have restoration?
He should do.
Not sure he has greater
Yeah.
No, he
restoration.
won't. He
That
won't
we,
have greater.
well, we talked about.
But greater is 5th level.
He won't
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can use found divinity to remove strife or fatigue.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Lowell does
Which
2 of
does the
each.
He only gets one found divinity of rest.
Yes,
And
but that's still, it's the same effect from this point of view as greater restoration. It doesn't cost you any money. So
Yeah.
it has that use.
Okay. And so you'll find out next session what happens.
the last thing was just a reminder that in some kind of flashback, Calcrix will have a conversation with the Librarian son.
I would like to point out, thank you very much, Martin, for moving me to tears for a character I've known for less than 2 sessions.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, it was also emotional for Drazzle as well.
Yeah.
So him coming down and asking a guy at the end there.
Like, I don't like it. It was a good question. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
And so it was a question the book couldn't answer.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I will go to end credits.
I'm glad that I let Drazzle ask it, because I don't think it would have ended as well if Calcrix had.